Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cyberdeck Cafe. Today we'll be streaming with some of our fellow group members. So come join us, kick back, and we'll see what comes up. Let's see here. Caleb, welcome.
What's up? We'll see what comes up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, let's see here. We got Zach joining us now too.
Awesome. I sent a hey back in the chat and realized I never hit send.
Hey Zach, welcome on.
Hi-yo. Hi.
Hey.
Wait. Fighting technique. Hey.
Yeah, that's why we're running a little late here. Technical difficulties. I think that's what I'll name the show, actually. All right, let's see here. And should be getting joined by a couple more shortly. But until then, what have you guys been working on?
Cyberdecks.
Yeah.
Caleb.
Well, I haven't really been working on a whole lot lately. Was kind of like out of the game with 3D printing for a little while, and I just recently decided to blow the dust off the printer and mess with things again. I like your lights, Zach.
Yeah, thanks. Just some LED tubes with some color tubes, I guess they're called. Yeah, they are not RGB, but they are these tubes you can put over them. Anyways.
Oh, you can put like colored tubes over them.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Looks like they're pretty bright. I've got a one of those Philips Hue bulbs over here, and it's so dim that I don't even bother turning it on now.
Yeah, they are more for decorative purposes, I guess.
Yeah, just some
more
ambient light.
Yeah.
No, I started printing pieces of the Daft Punk helmets, and I'd like to get those assembled and put together at some point. I think assembling them, finishing them, painting them, that's going to be the easy part. That's what I'm familiar with. It's the LED matrices and making them flash blinky lights that I'm going to have an issue with, that I'm going to have to learn some new stuff.
Have you decided on a platform to go with, like for what kind of blinky lights you're going to use?
I have no idea. I'm so I probably shouldn't say stupid, but I'm so out of the loop when it comes to figuring out how to do custom electronics like that. And people who make Daft Punk helmet lighting kits charge so much for them. I can only assume that they're not easy to put together. So
they're extremely easy to put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them probably just use the NeoPixels from Adafruit. That's a really simple platform to go with and pretty good price. I mean, there's so many options now, but they're all pretty easy. They're addressable, so you don't have to worry too much about how you plug them in, how you wire it. It's easy. Go with the Adafruit NeoPixel, and the instructions for it are just like literally made for children.
Yeah.
Which is how I like instructions to be, I'm
an adult child, so that sounds good to me.
Yeah, and you won't need anything external, really. You'll just need one microcontroller of some point, some kind like a Trinket or Arduino or a Pi Zero, whatever you really feel like using, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people out there who have made helmets that have specific messages that play across the screen or across the visor, or make it so that the lighting pattern matches music that they're playing or something like that. But I'm not really necessarily planning on using these for any kind of cosplay. I've always really liked Daft Punk, and because of the recent news, there were better files that were thrown out there to print than what we've had before, because it was just a little bit more popular all of a sudden. So
yeah, I've seen some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
My first Mandalorian helmet was a Daft Punk Mandalorian crossover.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it was meant to look like the silver one, crossed between that and Boba Fett's helmet.
What do you So, like, how do you feel about this is totally not maker related at all, but it's just Daft Punk related. But I heard a couple times in different interviews, the guys are, Daft Punk guys are French. And I heard a couple times, even though their names are spelled Guy and Thomas, I've heard them pronounced Guy and Thomas. How do you pronounce them
Daft
when you're
Punk.
talking about them? Daft Punk. Yeah.
No one knows who they are. They could walk through anywhere, anytime. Nobody has any idea who they are.
Yeah.
They have there'll be an image of them that's updated every couple of years, and you're like, oh, who's that guy? Oh, it's this extremely famous billionaire that we all listen to almost every day, and we don't even know who they are, which I think is great. It's rather cool that they have pulled that off.
Yeah.
See, we got player 2 joining us now.
Oh, awesome.
It looks like I'll give him a second because gear on. All right. Welcome.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Can you hear us?
Yeah,
Possibly. Might be a lag.
I hope you can hear me.
We can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep, sounds good. Glad you're able to make it.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm hearing either a printer or either a 3D printer or a 2D printer in the background somewhere with somebody.
Not with me.
Might just be my air conditioner.
Oh,
It's very loud.
yeah. I was getting excited there. I was like, "Oh, who's making something?"
No. It moved to the basement.
I did just get this in,
Nice.
so that someone can actually see what it is. Not a sponsor or anything. Please sponsor me. Now I got the Duet 3 Mini Wireless Edition.
Man, I have seen
shiny board.
so many of those boxes that just kind of triggered me a little bit. That was for the Duet 2, though, I believe. The Wi-Fi version. Context: I used to work at See Me CNC, and
Oh yeah.
we had stacks of those white and blue Duet boxes that we would repurpose and reuse and stack underneath keyboards to hold them up, and we had so many of those.
Nice. So this is my first Duet product. I'm hoping it's as easy to set up as it looks like.
It's a pretty robust piece of hardware. So
Yeah, I just don't like flashing firmware, going through the config for Marlin. It's a hassle. Everyone knows it. And this is supposed to alleviate a lot of that issue. I'm replacing the brain for a Tronxy Core XY, which is a copy of a Creality Core XY. It's poorly documented, and it's all just kind of be trial and error, figure out what kind of steppers, the wiring, everything. So tried to go with the board that would make this the easiest process to get through. Actually got delivered today, so I'm live streaming now, but I would actually rather be rebuilding the thing.
That's quite some.
I just found out the package was here too, like right before I was about to start. It's like, damn.
Okay, stream is over.
But it should be fun. It's pretty much a full rebuild too, replacing the X and Y stepper motors, replaced the hot end for a much nicer all metal hot end, and got the BL Touch for bed leveling. So, and then next up, I'll replace the terrible belts that came with and the pulley setup. But I need the printer working again so I can actually print the new pulley setup. But yeah, it'd be nice to print again. I've been offline for like a month and a half. It's hard. It's hard to go that long without making something.
Yeah.
Why have you been offline?
It has so many glitches as is that I didn't want to throw it out the window. So I decided just to put it away and get a new board, and it takes a very long time for shipping from whoever it is that makes the duet.
Gotcha.
That's in England, or is it? Do it.
I
Or
got
is it
no idea,
American?
but it took like a month and a half to get here. So
Jeez. Stuff from AliExpress.
Eh.
Didn't
No.
last that long.
Yeah.
that's okay. I'm sure it's worth the wait.
Yeah, my printer recently stopped working too. Right when I started working on my Cyberdeck, and I wanted to print some parts, wanted to get it done, and I started the print. It was a 20-hour print. Came back after 10 hours, and nothing. It was moving only in one direction. I thought, what? Okay.
Wow.
Spaghetti.
Checked the mechanics. Tried again. Printed the first part, and then again one direction.
So you burned out one of the stepper drivers?
Yeah, it's they were TMC 2130. They are not rated for too much current, and yeah, I guess so. I had heat sinks and a fan, and it was in the basement at 60 degrees Celsius. Anyways, replaced them, and now I'm back up and running, and already printed some parts. I don't know. Could show you something, maybe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do it.
So I teased it, and I wanted to make a YouTube video about it, but I'll show you guys. Yeah, I bought. I found one of these boxes. Actually, I found this box at work. Where
What is that?
Yeah, that was what
Looks
I'm
like
asking myself too. Yeah, it's, someone used it as a project box, but it's actually from the German Bundeswehr, which is the army, little box. And then I had it laying around and thought about, hey, that's great for a split keyboard. So I got myself two more and thought I might build a split keyboard because I was more into keyboards and cyberdecks. But then the keyboard was finished and I thought, man, I got one more box and it's crying for a cyberdeck, and yeah, here I am. Yeah, anyways, usually inside there were fuses for a German radio equipment, and then I made it into a keyboard.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll make a series on videos on what I did to get the effect. But basically, the top here is first I laser cut it from acrylic, then I glued on some aluminium tape, some black one, and then etched away the color of the tape. So I have a metal-like finish, and yeah, and the switches are actually.
What kind of laser did you use?
I have a K40,
Nice.
cheap Chinese laser. These are olive switches, and the keycaps are from an old mechanical typewriter. Yeah, two knobs for scrolling and zoom, and the other half of the keyboard, let me just grab it, is this one, where I added a little OLED display. And those are two parts, but then, yeah, Cyberdeck needs a display. And I'm too cheap for a heads-up display. Yeah.
And none of them work very good anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want them to work, I think they're pretty expensive. And that's basically the bottom part of it.
Nice.
This is a
Touchpad?
This is a touchpad, yeah. I replaced the switches. This is a 800 by 480 IPS panel. Yeah, and inside is a Raspberry Pi 4. I added a UFL connector. You can solder these on and then route out the antenna. Yeah, and these cables are usually those flat cables, which are not very flexible, and so I bought 20 of those so I can scrap them. No, I cut them along the length, and so I can separate this and have it more flexible. and it worked at the first try. So I have 19 more.
Nice. Yeah, we used to do that for IDE cables for cable management and PC mods.
Yeah.
Never tried that with was it PFC cable?
Yeah, these in longer. Yeah, these things. It's not that easy, but works. Yeah, and that's the deck. But as I learned, it should be transportable. And so I'm currently working on the transporting system, which will be this.
Oh wow!
Basically, let me close the parts, and then
So you're making a hopper for it.
Small rack.
Yeah.
Mobile rack.
that goes in like that, and then the other parts. Well, sorry. And
Is that case originally intended for these?
the case,
It looks like it's printed.
it's printed.
Yeah,
Oh,
It's
wow,
printed
that's
and painted.
excellent.
yeah, that's epic.
It's it should look like original military equipment. Yeah, it's 3D printed, and then I added base coat. Then I added the silver paint. Then I used wood glue, where I want the paint to chip off.
Okay, wood glue.
And wood glue. You can also use liquid latex, but
I've used the toothpaste method a few times.
Yeah. Toothpaste works too, but yeah, I would have found that. But my liquid latex is anywhere in the box we just moved, and so yeah, not so easy to find. And yeah, on top will go this strap to close it off. It's getting big. And on the sides, there will be a belt, shoulder belt, I guess.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. I feel like we just got the exclusive on that.
Really like
I
Yeah,
know.
you got pretty much. I just wanted to make a video on painting, on the top side, on the keyboard, and then maybe one where I show everything. But yeah, you saw it here first.
I like how we were just kind of like, oh, what's everybody working on? And you were like, well, I'm kind of working on something. When it's like, yeah, show us.
Yeah,
and you were like, here's all this awesome stuff.
Which is
I
completely
prepared it.
finished and ready to go.
So humble.
It's not completely finished yet, but yeah, I'm not happy with the power system. I have USB power pack V3 in there. I don't know. It does not turn on if I don't have external power hooked up. It's like a uninterruptible power supply.
Which one did you get?
Okay.
The V3, the UPS, Pi UPS pack V3.
Yeah, those are pretty limited on output.
Yeah.
I tried to use one of these.
Then I bought an Adafruit.
Does that display have a brightness adjustment on it? Does it have the buttons on the side?
No.
It might also have a pot on the back that.
Let me.
A lot of them, like the one I've got here, has a row of buttons on the side to adjust brightness.
Gotcha.
You could cut down the power requirement a lot if you can turn it down. You'd probably go from like 1 amp down to just 200 or 300 milliamp. So that might be enough to make it run off the supply you have.
Yeah, the supply is not the current is not the problem. The problem is that I don't know. The firmware is closed. It's a binary, and it only turns on if you plug in power. Then it runs from battery, and then you can pull out the power and use it as is. But if you shut it down and flip the switch to boot it back up, you need power.
Gotcha. So it only works as a UPS.
Yes. And at the moment I don't feel like reverse engineering the firmware.
No, probably not worth the time. I've had one supply like that before, and that was very annoying.
Yeah.
Right one.
Lately, I've been trying out these this thing here. This is the Pi Sugar 2 Pro, which is the one that they built, I guess, with the Pi 4 in mind.
Yeah.
Still not a huge output, but it seems to be good enough for a small screen and the Pi 4.
Yeah.
And the battery comes with this 5,000 milliamp, which isn't great, but you can just plug in your own. So I've got a 10,000 milliamp to go with it. Actually, I have 2 of these now because one showed up partially crushed, and I didn't have to return it, and they sent me another one. So luckily, the only thing that was broken is the JST connection for the battery, and the battery itself was also punctured, but not on fire, thankfully.
It sounded like the cases that you were using there were metal. Was that just the clasps, or are they actually metal?
No, they are 4mm thick aluminum or aluminium.
Wow.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about it.
Yeah, they were pretty cheap. They cost me $15, I guess. Yeah, I really like them. I tried to keep this project as cheap as possible. That's why I used a Pi I already had. I had these switches for another project, but they fitted perfectly. And okay, I bought the typewriter for this project, but it was also a bargain.
I love how, and this is what I love a lot about this kind of stuff that you guys do in this kind of like section of the maker community is that things like that they're made from old military hardware. They look like old military hardware, but they're full of technology that didn't exist when they were created, and that to do things that didn't even make sense when they were created. So like 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years from now, somebody's going to find that and they're going to try to figure out what time period it was from, and their mind is going to be blown. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like,
that's exactly what I'm hoping for. Is like maybe one of these cyberdecks will end up in the like science museum over in England alongside all of the other computers they have, because they've got like 1,000 working, antique computers in there. And I hope one of these just ends up there on display running, and people see it and just think it's part of an actual history.
Yep. It seems like something that would show up like in the background of a Futurama episode or something like that, where it's like, this is an ancient piece of technology, but you open it up and it's got like something from 10 years ago in it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. MSG, he's going to be joining the stream now. Welcome on.
Hi.
Hey.
So you guys can hear me now?
Why am I so silent?
Oh, hey. I think we can hear player 2 now.
Yes, finally.
Yes, we can.
It's very, very muffled, but we can hear you.
Yeah?
Okay.
No, I think you actually were just hearing me through the feedback from my headphones. I should get ones that are not so loud. Yes, close back is the technical one. And why am I so silent?
Well, it looks like it's skipping and stuttering a little for you there.
Yeah, for a second there, I couldn't figure out who was talking.
Well, we definitely have the name of the show, Technical Difficulties.
Yep.
I'll get out and get back in. Give me a minute.
Well, maybe I could show you my well, it's actually really as work in progress and not like a finished thing like Zach's deck.
Sorry.
I mean, like your deck is actually finished. So this is my stuff right here. That touch screen. Yeah, I'm not sure if I need the light or not. Yeah, that's the Latte Panda Alpha X864. So with 8 gigabytes and 64 gigabytes eMMC onboard storage. I attached some antenna, and the focus is really bad on this camera, with this poor lighting. Yeah, this is the keyboard to it. I still have to hook some speaker up. I actually removed the speaker from an old telephone charging station. I still have to find an amplifier for this, and still have to figure out where the audio goes out on the Latte Panda. Like I could just use 3.5 millimeters on the board, but I'd like to hook it up on the pins. And yeah, I still have to build a keyboard, and what I also want to do is hook up an OLED so it can display the CPU temperature and how much Zach, help me. CPU-Auslastung. CPU usage. So.
Zach, I think you're muted.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. CPU load, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
For
I
the
think-
Latte
I
Panda,
don't
is
know.
that built in like the typical ACPI power measurement and stuff?
Potentially, I'm not sure. I still have to figure it out. But it has an onboard Arduino Leonardo, and I thought maybe this could like have a look at a variable in Windows or something, which
With the
Stop.
battery plugged in, you do get a battery readout on display, right?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, the
That's quite
Arduino on the Latte Panda is very trivial. It's just you running Windows, install the Arduino IDE, and it just works. I remember when I had it, it just worked. The Arduino is pretty well integrated in the Latte Panda.
Yeah.
Now,
It's like
I had two Latte Pandas and they blew up on my hands, so can't really endorse that.
yeah,
Yeah, MSG had the worst luck with the Latte Panda. I think he had the original model a couple revisions back. The still frame there is great. He's just like mid bite.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's still not running.
It's
too
me or the
good.
sound is garbage.
Might just have to reboot that. I was going through the worst hell trying to get the networking and everything to work with StreamYard, and it's like, I'm just going to reboot. And of course, everything worked immediately.
Yep. The classic.
Yeah.
You tried turning it off and on again.
Yeah, it's a problem when you like put things in sleep mode all the time for like a month straight,
Yeah.
and then you try to actually use something, and UPS, USB is just dead.
I've had that moment a few times where something wasn't working quite right, and I was like, you know what? I think it's been a month and a half since I've actually turned this off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get like 8 hours of updates too.
Yeah. All those remind me laters that you forgot about.
All of the like 0-day patches that you've been skipping.
Yep.
I mean, some years ago I had an old MacBook, and I was it was just fun to look at the uptime of, I don't know, 400 days or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had an iBook that I treated like that. I just used it as a jukebox, really. It had no purpose as an actual computer.
Yeah.
I still have an old MacBook laying around. It's like a MacBook Pro from 2006 or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, it will never reach an uptime of a few hours because it dies after 10 minutes because it's overheating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to restore. Replace the battery that's definitely expanding and slowly crushing everything inside of it. Replace
Actually
that
not.
and clean it
Actually
out.
not.
No, it didn't puff up yet?
The battery's actually fine for some reason. But the last thing I remember when I used this notebook was like in school, IT class, where we had to bring our own notebooks because the school moved into another building and didn't have an IT computer room. And yeah, I was one of the 3 persons in the whole class who brought his notebook. then my teacher asked me if it's okay if he changes the power outlet, because his power cord was too short for his notebook, and I was like, yeah, sure, fine. And then he swapped the connector, and yeah, last thing I saw was my screen is black.
Okay.
Stole your power and never gave it back, huh?
Yeah. I need to get into KiCad.
KiCad? Yeah.
Yeah.
KiCad. Yeah, I don't know. They,
Uh,
the KiCad people don't know how to pronounce it by themselves. So
It's KiCad. For anyone
KiCad.
wondering,
I think it's KiCad.
Yeah, KiCad. Germans say KiCad.
It's okay. We were talking about the duet earlier, and for months upon months, we were calling it the duet when we first got it.
Yeah.
that's the French version.
Yep,
The way.
duet.
The way.
Deux. I think.
Deux.
Yeah, anyways.
Don't mind me. I'm just moving some hardware around.
I have
For
the
some
same mouse.
reason, This
The-
mouse will not work
yeah.
with the Raspberry Pi for some reason.
It won't?
It won't, which is
Oh.
annoying because that's literally what I bought it to use it with. The 8-bit Duo something 8-bit Do. Yeah, I bought it. Well, mainly because it looks cool. You know, it kind of looks like an old Nintendo, and the scroll
Yeah.
wheel is actually like a touchpad here in between the buttons.
That's cool.
It is cool, but it doesn't work with Raspberry Pi at all, ever. It has this weird lag. It's like this 3-second input lag. So you move the mouse and then you see the cursor trail across.
I think since I got that mouse, I never tried using it with the Pi. It should try.
What
Maybe it's working for me.
That's the first time I've seen that. What is it called?
The brand is 8-bit Do.
Okay.
And they make a bunch of game pads and stuff. They're all, you know, different versions that are compatible with different game systems, or they have some that they try to make compatible with like every retro game system.
Mhm.
And then you'll have like USB output and Bluetooth, and just kind of does everything.
Oh,
There's
cool.
one of their little ones. They're really good. I mean, they're kind of expensive,
My gamepad here.
but they're
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
That would be cool for.
Like-
I feel like that'd be a lot of fun to make something like that work with like a full size R2 unit.
Yeah.
I mean, have a look at this Super Nintendo controller with analog sticks.
Yeah.
It has rumble. It's compatible with the Switch.
That's awesome.
Also has two types of triggers. So shoulder buttons and triggers. It even has USB-C, which I'm quite happy to have.
Yeah, actually, I just got my friend the Fight Stick that they make. Fight Stick is like an arcade controller.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. It can just connect to everything. Like that's basically what it does. Is it works with everything. Has a bunch of programmable buttons too for, like turbo mode and stuff.
I don't know where I put it. I actually bought one of these 8-bit controllers, like that look like the Nintendo ones, and they work perfectly fine with the Raspberry Pi. So I don't know why will the mouse not work.
I know, it's the weirdest thing.
I fully had a playthrough completely through Undertale with the Super Nintendo controller from 8-bit Do.
I had it, and it worked perfectly fine with the Raspberry Pi. I don't know what it is now.
I was just plugging in here on my table. This little screen here. It's the 4.3 inch from Waveshare. It's pretty good, pretty clear. You can actually see it here. The tiny window in the tiny window. I just got one of these argon cases and decided to put a Pi 4 in it since this thing's got pretty good cooling, and Yeah, it works good. I was playing with it last night, overclocked it, maxed it out, and it did get a little noisy with that fan running, and it got very hot. But it's kind of the whole point of the case. The whole thing's aluminum, so it heats up with the Raspberry Pi.
Should probably address some of the people in the chat. We've got
Oh yeah, I've been ignoring that.
DB3D Dan said hello. Hello, Dan. Darren Santos said he's trying to find his way around KiCad while he's watching, which is pretty cool. And Trekeus? Do you guys have, he asked if you tried checking your logs for errors. I'm assuming on the
For USB.
yeah.
For the mouse, I have not. I don't even know what that would look like for something that would be causing a delay in it. But if you have any ideas, tell me on the Discord when we're done here. Multitasking is hard. I'm trying to read some of these comments too.
Yeah.
That I missed.
I'm just opening the stream. I hadn't opened. But my fear is that my internet connection will have a breakdown.
Yeah, I'm actually connected over a 4G tether at the moment, so I don't affect the internet for my girlfriend. She's doing work from home today, and her setup pretty much kills the whole network. It's a very inefficient system that she has to use VPN in, and then today, and her setup pretty much kills the whole network. It's a very inefficient system that she has to use VPN in, and then today, and that pretty much kills the whole network. Well, that's some crazy feedback we're getting. A very inefficient system that she has to use VPN in, and then
I don't know where that was coming from.
that was the weirdest thing.
I know.
I was hearing myself like 20 seconds later. Was it super loud and laggy?
It got louder every time on my end.
Kind of think it was me because I just opened the stream on Firefox and in my other browser, and I just muted the tab.
If you're just joining us today, welcome to Technical Difficulties.
My wife joined one group called Buy Nothing, and basically we used to, when we move, and you just list the stuff that you don't need, and people list the stuff. And someone listed like an Arduino kit and some, I don't even know, it says Texas Instruments Launchpad. And we went this morning, we got brunch, and after brunch we went and we picked it up. Like someone just listed, it's Buy Nothing. Then you kind of give a stuff and get the stuff, I guess, neighborly for free. And someone listed, she told me a couple of days ago that someone listed like kind of this type of stuff that I play with. I'm like, oh, sure. And she sent a message saying, hey, if no one wants it, we'll pick it up. And so we went and pick it up this morning, so I'll play with it. Yeah.
So it's a hardware exchange program, like an old book exchange?
But for anything, like actually when we moved, someone was offering like boxes, and we bought like 10 boxes from Amazon, but the mover allows us to maybe 15. And so someone was giving 5 boxes. We took 5 boxes. After we moved, we just handed it to someone else. It's kind of this exchange, for any type of stuff. And now we just got this.
Yeah, like Craigslist in America.
Craigslist now it's garbage. Last time I used successfully Craigslist, it's probably 2010 or 11. I tried to use it a year ago. When there, it's all scams. It's a scam that apparently they tell you, we're gonna pay you with a money order from Western Union, and then we're gonna Exactly. Yeah. It was like some scam, and I don't use it. This one, it's from Facebook, which I don't really like the idea of being from Facebook. But yeah, it's Buy Nothing on Facebook, but the people themselves seems to be fine. And it's very neighborly based. Like we just moved a new apartment. The old apartment was just a 15-minute walk, and it's a different Facebook group. So every Facebook group is very small. But it seems to be cool to get things like that. So I'm going to be playing with that, I guess, tomorrow.
And
And
then
then-
TI Launchpad, I vaguely remember that one. I think that was their dev kit. It was a couple $100, maybe like
Oh, wow.
4 years ago. Have you opened it up yet?
No.
Let's see what's inside.
I'll
Let's
do a
go
live
see.
unboxing.
Yeah. If it's Anthrax, just dial 911, all right? Which color will it be, the powder, if it's Anthrax?
White.
White.
There's lots of white powders, so watch out.
Reward of the university program with the Launchpad. Nice. Yeah.
Oh wow, it looks like it's
Oh wait!
completely unopened.
Oh wait! It's never been taken out. It's not been open.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
It's
Amazing.
brand new. Yeah,
that's cool.
it's sealed. So
Looks
yeah.
to be $30.
Launchpad
Yeah.
MSP430. Oh wait, there's a bunch of goodies that just fell off it. I guess. Oh, you have to.
Okay, so that's opened. Huh.
No, those are.
Oh, they're two separate bags. Okay.
Yeah, there are baggies. I think those are. This one looks like just head extenders. I've seen those when I was assembling feather wings. That does seem like an actual, like either a controller or some. Yeah, it comes with a cable too. You know what? This looks in pretty good stuff. It comes with stickers.
Nice.
Maybe I'll look around what to do with it, but maybe I'll just give it on the flea market of the Discord. Just if someone wants it, I don't mind paying the shipping. If someone I'm gonna put it there, and the challenge will be say what you're gonna do with it, and the coolest idea I may just send it. I thought it's in better condition than I thought. It's just brand new.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll put it on the flea market. People can send ideas of what they'll do with it, and the coolest will get it. I just decided that. And the other, I don't know how new it is. Let's try it. Little Bits Arduino coding kit. Oh yeah, it's same idea. Everything is on sealed bags. Yeah, someone.
Nice.
Yeah, I did.
Good.
Somebody wanted to mess with those at some point and just decided,
Maybe someone bought it for a date and that they never showed up.
Oh man.
Or like all of us on our shelf, we have a lot of unused hardware. And at some point, you just want to give it away.
I've got a hold. Hang on.
Yeah.
Like I have a stack of Bluetooth keyboards that I will never use because I pretty much just kept buying them until I found one I liked. And then I found one I liked, and then I'm stuck with like 10 more that are useless for me.
Got a whole drawer of like projects that I was going to start and bought the electronics for and just didn't do anything with.
Build a
Yeah.
cyber deck.
Yeah,
I tend to
Yeah,
hoard switches at the moment.
switches.
I have
know what?
70 switches laying around, because I'm actually planning on building a keyboard at the moment. But yeah, definitely the PCB first.
Yeah, I have a few keyboard projects sitting here. This one was slightly more populated.
The keyboard thing, the ones I built, I never use. I built the 30%. This one is garbage. I said it on another video, didn't change since then. The 30%, I had hopes for it, but I haven't gotten to use it. I even did I put it on Thingiverse, the case, which is this kind of 3D printed plastic, and I made it in a way that, you see this, I just put the stickers for
You
the
know what
legs.
that gherkin needs is about 10 more keys.
Yeah, it's a macro keyboard,
I mean, I do have,
I think.
I do.
I mean,
My normal keyboard is a 40%, which is not that, I guess, super different. And then I do have on the side a numpad because using the numbers is too annoying. And now, almost every website I go in, it tells me, we send you a text, and the text is like 8 numbers, and then you have to type the 8 numbers to log in. And that was getting very frustrating on a 40%.
Oh.
30%.
yeah.
So I just
Number of
type,
special characters, yeah.
yeah. I got that one because Boot said, "Oh, that's the best Bluetooth Tiny keyboard." Never used it, so could be the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's actually very good. It's very easy to type on, except for there's no tab, and there's I think the control's missing too.
All right. The Arduino kit, I'm a little excited. So that one I may play with. But the Texas Instrument, if anyone has ideas, I'll put the post and I'll give it if anyone has a good idea to do with it.
I think I finally found a use for this keyboard. This is the keyboard that we gave away during the 0 Days conference last year, or I guess 2 years ago now. And this is 60%, so there's plenty of switches on here. Arduino or whatever your controller is just goes in the top. But I'm hoping it's just gonna fit. I ordered a DMG case, original Game Boy case. So I'm hoping this will actually fit across it because I plan on stuffing a Raspberry Pi 4 in it and a few other things. So hoping this one fits. If not, I'm going to have to get something custom made that's just a little bit thinner. But that should be fun. I've been working on something. I've just been calling my Linux phone. And I just can't decide on the form factor, on the case. So I was thinking, why not the original Game Boy? It's very chunky, but it's got that iconic look. Everybody knows what it is. So why not make that a cell phone? 4G data, camera, keyboard, screen, everything.
If you can measure the width of the keyboard, I can tell you because I got a Game Boy right here, which is still a project for years.
I can measure it right off. 100 millimeters.
100 millimeters.
By 55.
Where's my fucking ruler?
That's why I have one on the table now. This whole map.
Yeah, I usually have one on the table as well, but
you use the measuring. You use the measuring ruler. Don't use the fucking ruler.
Why? What's with the battery attached to your?
This particular caliper was always empty when I used it, and then I ripped out the battery, attached a battery holder,
That's awesome.
and a real switch.
Yeah, and those button cell batteries are like $7 a piece out here.
That's it.
Yeah,
And you guys are officially way cooler than anybody I know in real life.
I mean, you too. No. Yeah, a friend of mine.
I'm going to find the ruler.
Yeah.
1 second.
It's very hard having two keyboards and two mice in front of me. It is impossible to get the right ones on the first try.
Yeah, for this, since I need sometimes to work with two PCs at work, I use Mouse Without Borders from Microsoft Garage, but I think that only works with Windows PCs. There you can seamlessly switch keyboard and mouse like it was another screen between PCs, and it's free.
I can do that if I had it set up, including the mouse I have here to the right of me. It's got a button on it. You press it and you can switch. But of course, it's not set up.
No.
Yeah, the Game Boy is like, the DMG is about 90 millimeters wide, so I think it's not going to fit.
I kind of want to make, because I'm the baby of the group. I am so like brand new to most of this stuff. Most of the stuff that I've done so far has mainly just been cosplay and like prop replica making, the physical creation of things and like the painting and stuff, assembly. When it comes to the actual like technology side of things, I'm completely new to this stuff, and you guys are making me want to make stuff now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Well, you've got a box full of electronics. What do you got in there? Let's go through the box.
It was mainly some. There was some EL wires, some LEDs, I've got a small controller in there, but it's not going to do much.
So we got in the chat here. Anyone have any questions for us since we're just hanging out anyway?
I kind of want to see if I can make a. So my keyboard has a number pad, but it's also the arrow keys and like the delete, home, end button section, and I hate having to swap between the two. So I kind of want to make a like a dedicated number pad so I can stop worrying about it.
You should make yourself a custom like 110% keyboard.
110%.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make
very oversized, lots of extra buttons. Do a bunch of hotkeys, macros. Do you use a Stream Deck or anything for video editing?
I don't, but I specifically got a mouse that had extra buttons on it for like gaming, but because I have the hotkeys mapped to.
Nice.
Yeah, so like something like that. Honestly, having something that's dedicated specifically to the hotkeys that I use when I'm editing more often would be epic.
Yeah, there's a pretty cool little add-on board you can get that you plug the USB from your keyboard into this board, and then this plugs into the computer. So it intercepts all of the key presses and allows you to reprogram all of them without having to build a custom keyboard. It'll just work with any keyboard.
Gotcha.
So the idea is to map out every key on that thing to some hotkeys, and then
profiles.
Yeah, and just like put a sticker on top of each key so you know what it does. So you can just take like take a free Dell keyboard, plug this board into the end of it, plug that in the computer, program it, label it, and you got 108 keys that are all can be customized. I think the board's like $70. Can't remember the name of it at the moment, but it's somewhere out there.
You can get it on
See if anybody in the chat knows what it is.
Yeah, it's on Geekhack. I know that.
Wouldn't it be? I feel like it would be more epic to make something though.
Well, you could still make one yourself too, but it's kind of a cool just add-on for anyone. If you don't know how to build the stuff.
Yeah, I know this thing.
Yeah, I think everyone's seen it and thought, "Oh, I should buy this," and then you see the price and you're like, maybe
I don't know.
The guy that makes this also sells PCBs for if you want to build your own keyboard and you have Alps keys, Alps switches. He also sells PCBs for that, and I bought that board from him, but not the adapter.
But then you have to find Alps switches.
I found Alps switches where I found the first of these boxes.
Nice.
That was fun when I started my. I was a media designer. Then I decided to study engineering and studied mechatronical engineering. And when I started my first job, my colleague actually had to make room for my workspace and took everything that was in that corner and threw it in the trash. And 5 days later, when I came, he showed me, that's your place. By the way, we have a trash bin down there. What's in there, you can take it. And there were like 2 old PCs, which were laptops, I guess. So these, these all in one. No, not that one. That one, he has 2 of those and does not want to throw them out.
This one's getting turned into a CyberDeck.
Yeah, that's a really nice keyboard. And where was I going?
You were just saying where you found some of your Alps switches.
And there he threw in an old keyboard. I grabbed it out, and sure enough, Alps switches.
Did it say Apple on it?
No. No. It were. It also were no original Alps. It were SMK. I don't know, white, fake Alps. Meanwhile, I have original Alps. I thought about swapping these, but don't feel like it yet. Yeah. For
I have one Siemens switch.
one what? One what? Sorry.
One from Siemens.
Oh,
Yeah, they kind of used to make telephones in the 90s. Yeah, I think the telephone is like the thing they're famous for internationally. But yeah, I'm not sure what Siemens
What
does
company
now.
was that?
Siemens, SIEMANS.
Simons.
Siemens, yeah.
Siemens.
Siemens.
Siemens is
Because-
something else.
Siemens because Germany.
at first I thought you said a human switch, which I guess wasn't too far off from Siemens.
Oh no!
Siemens Medical.
I think I
human
had
switches.
I may have had a Siemens or Siemens Ericsson phone, something like that, a long time ago.
We have a banking like conglomerate. I don't know if it's a conglomerate, but we've got a Simmons Bank around here.
Okay. Yeah.
Since we're on the subject of keyboards, I've got two PC boards here that are never going to get used because I didn't really pay attention when I bought them, and these are for the chalk low profile switches, which I have none of. And it uses the hotkey hot swap socket for the key switches, which I also don't intend on using.
Yeah.
So these are going to go up in the flea market later today, by the way, if anyone does want to get them.
Maybe.
They were very cheap too. Got them on eBay. I think I bought them from someone else who also didn't know what they bought and then wanted to sell them quick.
Yeah.
It was like $12 or something.
Yeah, I first of all, I come from the keyboard corner to this community, so I'm heavily into keyboards. And when I first bought some hot swap sockets, I thought, yeah, hot swap sockets. But I bought exactly these hot swap sockets, which are incompatible with my mostly cherry switches. And now I have a stack of hot swap sockets, but I'm too cheap for these chalk switches. And also, I don't have a board I would use them for.
I don't feel like SMD solder, all this stuff, you know?
I love how thin the chalk switches are, but then, and I think in Novel Keys, XYZ, there are several places that kind of always have them in stock. But what I'm having a hard time finding are keycaps with legends, yet alone like looking good or of decent quality. Just like any keycaps that will work. And blank keycaps are I just can't use. Like,
Well, and they all kind of look the same because they're just flat keycaps when they're for the chalks.
Yeah.
But you know, the switch is so short, you would think you would make some taller profile caps for it because you got plenty of room. And sorry, player 2, I think the lag is what's making it hard to talk and then get your responses in.
Yeah, I'm watching the screen on the stream on my second screen, and there I can see how low my quality is. Yeah, maybe I'm going mobile 4G as well.
Yeah.
And for people starting, like Kela was like, I haven't done many hardware projects. I didn't know, I have not done projects up until I started doing that a year ago. I feel that Browse Adafruit and Pimoroni, a lot of the projects they have, they're very well documented. They're pretty cool. $30 get you almost any of their kits. It's a good start. More than try to do your custom Stream Deck that seems a little more advanced as a starting point, I will say. Also, something that gets frustrating is the code part. Like when you do your own project, you have to write your own code. You solder and it seems to work, but then testing is a problem. A lot of these Adafruit and Pimoroni projects, they come with like their own library. And so that part makes it much easier. And then you can play with the code to make a small changes, make it a yellow to a green or whatever. I would say those are...
Yeah, sometimes. With the Adafruit, I recently had a problem. I wanted to get the force curve of a switch to make a chart. And I had an Adafruit library to read out the load cell, which I'm using from an like from a actual scale, a micro scale for 100 grams. And every time the code would make a reading, the motor would stop moving. And that is because Adafruit put a delay inside the code, which I don't know. I don't know why they did it that way. It took me a while to find another library because I did not feel like fixing it myself. I'm not a great coder.
It probably didn't work when they tried to do it, so they added the delay to fix their problem.
I don't know. I did an issue on GitHub. They said, yeah, that's a problem. Won't fix. Okay, thank you.
Well, they provide examples. They don't typically support those so much.
Right.
Although if you bug the forum mod enough times, they'll usually go in and fix it for you.
Yeah.
It's just the difference between starting from zero and starting from a little library with a couple of bugs. Like when you start, if you start from a blank Arduino IDE and you're like, where do I start? If you're that's how I developed the LoRa things. If I start from zero, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I use the example, the guy that made the Arturo, the guy that made the feather wing. Mm-hmm. He has an example where you're able to type here and it appears on the screen. Adafruit has an example of having the LoRa work to send between one LoRa and another. Mm-hmm. From these two example scripts, I put it as a combo for the one that actually works here, where you actually type, shows on the screen, and the LoRa sends it to another one. Mm-hmm. But starting from zero, I don't think I would have been able to get it to work. But using a couple of example libraries, you kind of mix them out. Mm. There could be bugs here and there. Sometimes there's something that they didn't handle at all is if you send a package of more than 250 characters, it just crashes. And if the LoRa device, if the LoRa chip catches any LoRa package that cannot understand as text, it also crashes. But adding a handle was relatively easy, so I added a handle now that if it catches a package that is not text, I just make it print. I catch something like non-UF, non-text package capture. So you can add a couple handles in there. In your case, it will be ideally, they remove this delay. But if you have the example code, then you kind of build your thing around that little delay. And it's much better than starting from zero, at least in my opinion. Starting from zero, I wouldn't be able to do a whole lot. From these examples, I'm able to make things work.
Yeah, it depends. You're completely right, but it depends on the project. In this case, it was a showstopper for me because I needed to move and measure, not move, standing still, measure, and but I found another library. The hardware is mostly pretty good, I think.
Just wondering, what was it you were trying to read out? What is it that you were trying to read out?
I wanted to have a force curve of some switches. There was no force curve for.
So you were trying to make a proportional switch?
No, I had these switches, which are pretty tactile. They are what are they? Marquardt switches, and I thought, whoa, they are damn tactile. All the people are, oh, holy pandas are so tactile. I thought these are tactile. And but I did not know at which force they trigger, what their curve actually looks like, because on the first curve you can see the tactility, and so I thought
it's nice to quantify it so you could actually share that with people.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, for me, most projects I do most projects as much as I can DIY because I want to learn new skills and improve on what I do. And also, I don't want to spend too much money most of the time. But I try to DIY the heck out of everything, and at the moment, it's Cyberdex.
I just noticed the headphones you've got there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, look at that!
Best headphones in the world.
I'm looking for a new pair of headphones at the moment.
Well, let me put it this way. There are better headphones, but the margins are so small unless you are a measuring device. Like, with measuring that force curve on the switches, it's so minute, your finger's not going to be able to tell the difference. It's kind of the same thing with these. They're so good that, you're not going to be able to hear the difference between these and anything else up in the price range, especially by the time you can afford like a $30,000 Stax headphones. You're too old to actually hear the full frequency range it can reproduce. So these are these are Fostex T50 RPs, but there's several different models that have replaced them since. The main drive for them is that they are a planar magnetic driver, which is like a big flat magnet with holes in it, and then a very large diaphragm with the magnetic traces etched into it or electroplated on top of it, something like that. Yeah. They take a lot of wattage to drive, and they can handle a lot of wattage and get very loud. I think they go up to 3 watts input on each ear, which would just melt most coils on headphones.
Mm. Yeah, and you can modify them to your likings. They are when they come from the factory, they are already pretty good, but they are a bit too harsh on the eyes for me, and have a bit too little bass maybe. And these are modular, and there's a big modding community around these headphones. And
yeah, so are you on the HeadFi thread for the planar magnetic?
Not really, but that was a phase. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I actually have a collection of them. I've got most every pair that's ever been made, as far as all of the antique planar magnetic headphones, which is kind of fun. There's actually not that many, so it's a pretty easy collection to make. At least it was 10 years ago when I did it. Now they're all kind of bought up because of that thread. Yeah. And yeah, they're very easy to mod. I know we're sidetracking the headphones, but they're a semi-open, so you can just close off the vents. Yeah. Pack in some padding, get these nice big cushy pads like I've got, which is also why I'm not wearing them, because you don't really want to look like this on camera. But they do sound absolutely incredible. And they were originally built for drummers, because when you're playing a percussion instrument, it's very loud, and these are made to be able to overpower that so you can hear what you're playing.
Yeah, because I'm making some music. I'm not sure if it's called music, what I'm currently making. Yeah, maybe ambient or something. And I'm looking for some studio headphones currently. So,
well, they are definitely studio headphones. They run around $150 US.
That's a good price.
It is really. I mean, that is like the end game. I've got a massive collection of headphones and listen to a lot of them, and there's really no need to go past that. Yeah. Great. Which is also why I own 3 pairs of them, because I didn't want them to go out of stock.
I don't know when I bought them. It's quite some time ago, but I once saw them on Tested, I think. In the past, before Adam Savage joined Tested, they had...
they used them in their studio for the podcast.
Some different guys, and one of them recommended these, and so I thought, try them, and yeah, great headphones.
Yeah, I have Logitech UE 6000 for years. Like this. The cable is replaceable, and I recently got a green cable because the stock cable broke. They're really comfortable and not that expensive. And they were usually originally €200, which is like probably $230 to $240.
Yeah.
But now they're like $60 to $70 on Amazon. So on the budget, they're quite good headphones.
So here's another pair that I've got. This has the T50RP drivers inside of it. I need to order some new pads. This just fell off yesterday. The other one's about to fall off. So the frames here from an antique set from, I don't know, 60s or so. But I need a headband, and you pretty much can't like 3D print or make your own because you got all this like formed spring steel and all these parts going. So got these off eBay, some old military set, and then 3D printed up the shell for it, so they're fully open, which does make the sound profile a bit different. Got a bit of movement left and right, up, down, and then the expansion. And I don't know if it'll really focus very well, but you can see that's the driver, that big open space there with the windows in it, a little bit of a screening over it. That's the whole driver. And from the back side,
that reminds me. Be right back.
There. So anyone wants to actually see it. And no, I did not share these designs with anybody ever. This was my own personal project. But yeah, that's the driver. You can see it's giant. And that's about it. They sound incredible. Definitely fun. This was actually one of the very first things I ever 3D printed when I got my first printer about 10 years ago. This was like the third thing that came off the machine.
Yeah, how do I spell the brand again? I think Zach, if when Zach's back, you just have to show the the head strap.
The headband on it?
Yeah, because I'll
show it when it comes back too, but I can actually just pop this off. This came from, I don't know, I think Bayer Dynamic something 770s. I've got a bunch of them. If you go on eBay, you can get broken headphones for really cheap, headphones that are very expensive. And you can usually fix them for like no money and just takes a couple minutes. People are dumb. They don't fix their own stuff.
Yep. That's how it goes.
I just have one pair of broken China Beat Studio in chrome silver. I have them here. So yeah, I have to fix those when I have time for this.
If the driver that is in there is something particularly good, you can always transplant them into a different shell completely. But that usually changes the sound profile quite a lot. But you could always just 3D print a new cup for it as well.
Hey, Tim, TH3D just stopped in.
Right.
Yeah. I think he's going to join us on here, actually. Let's bring him in.
I've been saying this for a little bit.
Sorry,
How's it going?
I couldn't see you here. It was I had to scroll down to see the other. And Blasto's here too. Let's bring him in. Hey,
there's Blasto.
how long you guys been sitting?
I've been there for about 10 minutes. You guys are talking about headphones. I'm sitting here feeling like a peasant with my Corsair ones.
I'm not even going to mention that I'm wearing AirPods because I know you'll just give me shit.
Hey, AirPods sound really good 1 hour at a time.
Oh, these are brand new. These last like 2. Okay.
I heard that beat.
Hang on. I got the Galaxy Buds. Ooh. I actually like these a lot.
I have Sony MX. What are they called? I don't know.
Wait, I want
Is
to
my
see this.
screen really small, or do those look like they're made out of wood? Oh, it's just really old leather.
It's
Oh,
really
nice.
old, and I once picked these up on a flea market for $2, I think, and they did not work. I added in from another cheap set of headphones. I added in the driver, and these were shoelaces. But
That's pretty awesome.
they fit the look, I think,
Yeah.
and I think they will go well with the Cyberneck.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah,
That's a nice combo. Yeah, I've got a few pairs like that. Similar.
Did you guys
That's
notice
the same thing I did here,
changed
too.
I changed my RGB lighting for like
These
this kind
were-
of purple color?
Nice.
There's
You're
your other-
showing puppies on stream right now.
I know. I don't have a dog to bring on. I gotta.
This is Remo. He's like 11 weeks old, and this is Clara, who's 2. So
Oh.
she's like 75 pounds. He's already 23 pounds.
He's gonna be a big boy.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was expecting my dog to get a bit bigger. All of her siblings, the previous litters, the dogs were like 25 pounds. She's 5 years old now and 7 pounds.
Yeah, my cats weigh twice as much as that.
Yeah, the neighborhood cats are always picking on her too. Out in
Does
the
that come
yard.
with a snack?
Yeah, but Jake is adorable though. He really is cute.
She is. I'll open the door so she can join.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I'm
just finally got some RGB lights that work with Home Assistant, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Nice.
So I bought some. I got a deal. Menards had these Feet brand ones, and they looked like they would be able to flash. FEIT, Fight.
Oh.
I don't know. They were $10 a bulb, and I looked them up on the Blackadder database, and they're like, "Oh yeah, these could be flashed as long as they don't have this bulb code." And I opened them all up and looked; they didn't have that bulb code. And lo and behold, they have the Realtek chipset, not the ESP.
Nice.
So those are going back. But today, someone's from China from this Atham. I don't know, some Chinese seller. They said they came with Tasmoda, and they actually did. So they're hooked up. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, a
it's
few
hard to
weeks
find
ago.
Our local controlled bulbs.
What happened with
Zach is just like the main person right here.
Yeah. What happened there?
I think he wanted to open the door to let the dog in, and
There we go.
then I was the host.
Oh.
Aw, she's adorable.
She
looks
is.
she looks so grumpy.
She likes to step on keyboards too, which is
She's-
hilarious because it looks like she's typing, but she's actually just fucking up whatever I'm doing.
She looks like you woke her up and she's not happy about it.
I think I did actually. I called her in and she's all warm, which means she was napping in the sun, basking.
Yeah, these two I would have been on earlier, but I had to do post snow poop cleanup. So there's a lot.
Ooh, if you don't clean that up, that'll be frozen in there till summer.
Frozen Snickers.
Yeah.
He's
actually-
minefield.
He's actually being more Clara when she was like this age, like she'd freak out if you held her. But he whines and he'll fight you a little bit, but he's
Oh,
look at these
big
look how big
baby.
those ears are. I know. Can you tell I'm torturing him? I wonder if my neighbors think I'm just out here in the garage just torturing a dog all day because like I'm holding him. He's just like he's like looking at me like look. That's what you sound like. He just, did you hear him? He's like
Oh, I don't sound like that.
MSG, has your dog gotten any bigger?
No, the sad news. I had 2 dogs until 2 weeks ago. One passed that I had for 6 years.
Oh.
And those were the same breed. The breed is supposed to be 16 to 20 pounds. The old one was a fatty. It was like 24. That one was the run of the litter. It's like 12, and it's now a year old. So it's
what kind of breed is that?
It's Welsh Terrier.
Okay.
And she'll be groomed in a week or 2. So now it's a little of a fastball. Let me get her back. My wife just got last week 2 weeks ago a skateboard. So now she's nearby skating, which means the dog is just by the door waiting. Yeah.
If I take, I can't even say the word. I'm gonna have to spell it because she'll freak out. If I take my DRONE out, she loses her mind because she goes outside and chases. Like literally, if I say the word right now, she'll be like here and like start freaking out because she thinks we're gonna go take it outside.
This one doesn't know many words. The one that we had for 6 years, there are a few words like out. You said out and immediately goes to the door and waits. You say chicken or milk and he's like, where is my treat?
Yeah.
In like random conversation, you will be like, oh, what do we have tonight? And you're like, we have some chicken in the fridge. And you say the word chicken in the middle of the conversation and the dog just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, Remo loves to eat. Remo, do you love to eat?
Yeah, this one has learned French fries and pepperoni.
Oh, you can't see him. He's over here. Do you like to eat? Come here. come here. Or here, if I pick up, I got a bag of treats right here. Look. He knows. Look, he sits. You just see the ears. Oh, there it is. There it is. Can you sit? Come on, you know better. Sit.
I miss
Oh,
having
boy.
a dog.
What's that?
I miss having a dog.
We got Clara first, and we have 4 cats too. So we have 4 cats and 2 dogs. So it's quite the collection here. I'm trying to find Clara's street. Oh, here it is.
My grandma used to have dachshunds. So I never had a dog.
Yeah, you showed me a picture of that one dachshund. That was really cute.
Yeah, that's Chica. That's my grandma's current dachshund.
That's not yours. Leave it. He's trying to steal her. I gave her a little rawhide treat. He's like trying to steal it, like a little shit. It's like it's. I don't know how. I know you said you had MSG. You said you had 2 dogs. Did they ever like? They both have to have the same toy. They can't either both have their own toys. They're like children.
The old one never liked the idea of sharing the love. For 5 years, she was the only kid. She liked that. Sharing was not her thing. Every time there was a toy, she will claim the toy. It would be like you had 2 toys on the floor. You ignore them, they don't exist. You pay attention to one toy, then the old dog will come and play. And if the small one tried to play, the old one will like, no, that's my toy. But it will be just like, purely on attention basis. It's like
That's just like human children, you know.
Yeah. They literally my friend got a second dog. He's like, "Your dogs do that?" I was like, "Yeah, they're literally like toddlers. Like they want whatever toy the other one has." I'm holding Remo by his collar here because he's trying to get close to Claire to take her rawhide snack out of her mouth. Nope, it's not yours.
That's a dangerous proposition.
Well, considering Claire's like 3 times his size right now.
Yeah, she's the boss.
Yeah, for now. Our vet thinks that he's probably going to be close to 100 pounds when he's full grown.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah. No, I don't think we'll have any issue with people trying to come into our house with 2 German Shepherds. No. It'd be a bad bet.
I'm going to reconnect because my connection actually completely sucks. And
it sounds pretty good right now, though.
Unless you said that a minute ago, I think you're kind of okay.
Yeah, I think it's actually better.
Dan Pop D. I know DB3D Dan. He's like, what the hell, a random Tim? Hey,
everyone's here, you know.
Yeah, I gotta get
like
some
20-minute notice.
I gotta get some time to do a Cyberdeck build. I'm just like got all these other projects going on. Like we're building out a theater room in the basement right now that I've been like planning to do for like 2 years, and we're finally doing it.
Do you run Octoprint?
Hell yeah! I got like 46 pies on my network.
I've got a great idea for you. Right here is the Raspberry Pi 400.
Okay.
As in the one that comes inside the keyboard.
Okay.
And I've got a case for it that's meant to be like panel mounted or like screwed into the side of something.
Yeah.
Use that to be your Octopi, host. This thing's actually a lot more powerful than the stock Pi 4.
So we've got some 3Bs and 3B pluses, more 4s now, but they run great. I've got a server downstairs, and I run a software on it called OctoFarm, and that connects over the API to Octoprint to do centralized management and alerting. I actually have it tied in with our Teams management system, so like when a print finishes or fails, we'll get a push notification for the printer and what job it was doing and
that's cool.
Error condition. So
have you tried out that AI system that monitors your print and tells you
the Spaghetti Detective? Yes.
Yeah.
We're actually working on some partnership stuff with them, and we're actually sending out little cards with their information in all of our PyKits.
The first time I saw that,
it works really well. It's wild.
The first time I saw it, I thought maybe they just went the cheap route and had like a call center with people watching your cameras.
No. One of the guys used to work in Google's computer vision department.
Ooh, fun.
So he's got some good talent there. Yeah, we're working on trying to get so we're sending the cards out with the kits that we sell, and then we're also going to be preloading the plugin on the next version of the image. So, but it's nice too because for people that don't want to port forward, and I don't recommend you do port forwarding, just remote access to your printer is free. So you don't have to use it to do the AI detection. It originally started its life as Octoprint Anywhere. And it even has, they have a tunneling feature. So they run on AWS and the plugin calls out to their instance on AWS. And then you hit that and it just kind of goes through and there's no port forwarding or anything to worry about, with that. I've seen too many people expose their printers directly like, oh, let's just forward port 80 right to our printer. What could go wrong?
No one should be doing that in 2021, That was like a 10 years ago thing.
I've got one server exposed to the WAN, and it's my proxy server that does all my routing and stuff.
What were you saying, Blasto?
Oh, sorry.
For accessing my Pi that I have for Octoprint remotely, I just use the Discord plugin. Just sets up like a little channel just for the Pi, and you can send it commands and get status and whatnot.
Really?
It's pretty nice. Yeah, you can
I
even
just
get
put two and two together who you were. I'm like, wait. He looked familiar, but
I also just noticed the portal camera in the background on the corner of the wall. That's awesome.
She's watching.
That's awesome.
My brother has a signed portrait of Ellen McLean.
Yeah.
For who did the voice for GLaDOS? Because
that's awesome.
He did, do you guys remember, for you Portal fans? Do you guys remember that wedding proposal that went viral? For Portal? Look up Portal wedding proposal. It was on Verge and Vox, and it was in Forbes and Kotaku.
Jeez.
But this guy proposed to his girlfriend through a portal map, and my brother and a few of his friends were actually the ones that built that map, and they got Ellen to do custom voices for that map.
That's epic. That's awesome.
It's
really cool.
Yeah, his it's on his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is Top Hat Waffle with 2 T's. So
okay.
But he's also into 3D printing. I got him addicted to it.
That's awesome.
Do you guys like my little
That's a cool looking map.
My little mittens Bernie sitting here on my printer back there?
Is the cube running?
It is actually.
Oh, okay.
But you can't see it how the shots are framed. He's got it in the squish mode.
So Tim, I hope you're not offended, but this is a duet board.
I have one here. There's one in my CR10, and then this is the Daedalus. It's got a Duet 3 in there. So I'm not a fan of their config. It's complicated for the sake of being complicated. That's why I didn't like it. Their hardware is really good. I like their hardware. So
I'm doing a rebuild on that Tronxy that I was talking about before, the Core XY.
That board is worth as much as that entire printer.
Yes, that's why I pretty much thrown that board in the trash and starting over from scratch with it, replacing the stepper motors too. Pretty much everything's garbage on it. The frame though, they cut those 2020 extrusions within thousandths of an inch, just flawless.
That's good.
Everything else is terrible.
Oh.
do you like my shirt? My bench.
I do. Was that 2 benchies holding hands?
It's 2 benchies on a bar.
Yeah.
It's like a bench
so you can do a benchy press. Yeah.
Do you even benchy, bro?
A benchy bench.
My wife makes fun of me because I literally wear all of the TH3D merch every day. It's 3D printing. My whole drawer is just all of our shirts.
As soon as all the Cyberdeck Cafe merch shows up, that's all I'm gonna wear.
You gonna have some Outrun theme stuff? Because I'll buy that shit.
It's on Redbubble.
I should make some Outrun style.
Hang on, I'm gonna drop out first. I got a call coming in. Hang on.
I was going to say, Player 2 has his Redbubble up now, and
you do?
Pretty cool looking designs of his own. He just did a 3rd design he put on Instagram today.
Put it in the chat.
Yesterday. Yeah, I'm going to drop a new design because today, today I worked on a new design to fit my aesthetic on my Instagram site.
Nice. Drop a link in
yeah,
the chat
and
here for everybody.
Yeah.
the new design is not up yet, but maybe I can show it on OBS. 1 second.
So I can get this thing to load. If anyone doesn't know, Player 2 is one of the winners from the Cyberdeck Cafe VertCon competition.
I feel really terrible because I wanted to get one of those and I just realized I never actually ordered it. So I'm on there right now.
Nice. Here's the link for anyone in the chat. You should check them out. It's pretty cool. And James5, he's not in the chat right now, but he designed the other shirt. The
nice.
X-Ray Specs, and Neon Summer is from Player 2. Very cool shirts. The X-Ray Specs is our Discord logo, turned into a super HD X-ray of the design. Very cool. And from Player 2, he went with a kind of a retro wave look. And it looks really good on black. I'm still waiting on my sample orders to come through. Those usually take a while to get shipped out. And I don't have it linked back to the Cyberdeck Cafe yet. I need to add a couple more things on there first and make sure all the settings are right. The previous, we have Printify. They screwed up their ordering system completely, and every single thing that was purchased on there was purchased at a loss. So that was fun before I found out.
It was the shipping that they screwed up, wasn't it?
Yeah, they weren't billing people for the shipping.
Oops.
Oh well, no big deal. The affiliate ads pay for that. It was only like $100 out of pocket, not the end of the world.
Hope I can do something next time.
Oh, we're talking about Redbubble's Paul.
Oh yeah, let me bring him back
Paul
in. I think
H.
he's jumped back here. There we go.
Paul Howitt from our Discord and from Instagram.
Like even after I posted, I was like, and Sarah was like swearing and shit over and over again. I was like,
I think he's still on the
phone. Yeah, seems like it.
So, as you can see in my feed, this is my new design, which I will launch later on.
How are you overlaying that on the feed?
I'm using OBS as a virtual camera, and then I can just throw in any type of media on there.
Is that just a PNG with the transparency, or was that the actual 3D model?
No, that's like the transparent render as a PNG.
It looks the type of thing that you'll get on these metal stickers that you move and then they change a little the colors.
Yeah, the like holographic.
Yeah. I'm currently thinking about making some stickers my own. So there is like Sticker App or something is the service name. They actually make holographic stickers for you. So,
which one is it? I've been looking for someone to do that.
Sticker App.
Sticker App.
Sticker App, yeah.
I think Sticker Mule also does holographics. I don't know.
Sticker Mule is not my favorite.
No?
Oh, interesting.
I wanted to get some like Blasto Supreme or just like the Blasto circle that I have on my Instagram and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get some of those as like a holographic sticker and slap that on some shit.
Well, you know what I have is the Cricut Silhouette Cameo 4 vinyl cutter. So I've made a lot of my own stickers, and it's pretty cool. It's just you're limited to a single color, single item. You can't print on top of them very easily.
You can.
Cricut just fucked over most of their users like pretty hard. They switched everything. Yeah, they like switched everything over to like a subscription now that you have to pay. Otherwise, you have more than 10 designs at a time or whatever.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but
one's quite a controversy because it's always been a cloud service, and the possibility for that has always been there because they've always had a Pro plan that gave you more features in the software. So
Tim is back, by the way.
And they backpedaled on that one, I think.
Are you guys
well,
talking
they're
about?
going to have to because they're
You guys
going to
talking
get
about
sued.
Yeah.
into-
Oh, my wife has one, and I didn't realize it was cloud based until after I bought the hardware, and I was like,
Damn.
yeah,
You can't
I
do more
like that.
than 10 now. Designs
like
now.
that.
So.
Yeah.
Caleb, how did you
Caleb, are
do
you the same
multicolor?
Caleb that does the videos for Jim?
Yeah.
Okay, I
I
thought
edit
you
Jim's
looked
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I borrowed the Caleb for VerdCon as well.
Yeah. This is
Everyone needs a
yeah,
Caleb.
that's what Dan was talking about. I'm actually in front of the camera now. No, so I made I've done quite a bit of messing around with just a regular, I say regular, but this vinyl cutter back here, and doing multicolor stuff. It just basically comes down to a lot of pre-planning what you're planning on doing, a lot of patience, and being very careful with like registration.
Caleb, your shelving back there is giving me anxiety. Just like if that was in our room, my dogs would have knocked that over like 20 times.
That's all Lego, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all
that's what I figured. That's why I'm like, whoa, like
yeah, it's I need to. So my plan across this wall back here is basically just to build from corner to corner some workbenches, and those are going to have some shelves, and it's going to alleviate some of the pressure that's on those shelves back there.
You know what I really like, and I have them in my office in the back, are those like garage metal racks that they make that are like multi-level. They're like $100, and you can actually set them up at workbench level. Like one rack, you can get 2 workbenches out of. They're over on the side. I have my printers over here. We also have them in the shop too.
Yeah, I've got those in the corner. That's where my resin printers are and my old FDM printer.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And they have ones, these are the nicer ones where they have like the painted, you don't see like the holes for where the shelves lock in. And they're painted, so they look a little nicer. They're like $10 more than the normal ones.
Mine are not the nice ones.
No.
They're the ones where you have to use a hammer to get them to slot into place.
You have to use a hammer, so it's the same design as the ones you have, except they have another piece of metal that wraps around the front, so you don't see the little eye loop things where
that's nice.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite thing with that is you can put zip ties through those eyelets to, cable manage everything. It's great.
That's what I did. One of my buddies saw that, and my brother saw that, and now they all have them in their offices for their printers. So, because I've got printers, I got like crap on the first 2 levels, and then printers, and then more printers, and then like I've got 4 printers across the top, 3 on the bottom, and then 1 printer spot is taken up by my humidor and my whiskey collection.
Yeah, I'm actually going to enclose these for the resin printer, enclose it and vent it out the window. So I'm just going to use the frame of it, right? Just put panels on the sides, put a door on the front.
I definitely have a picture. I did the same thing in my garage. So I have one of these in my garage that I enclosed. My buddy laser cut me some panels for it. I'm trying to find the pictures.
And I've got 3 resin printers, so I wasn't going to build a case for every single one of them individually.
They smell so bad. I hate the smell of them.
Yeah, they do. Especially I've got this ABS-like resin, and it's horrific. It'll fill the whole house even when it's in a sealed box.
Yeah. And I don't.
The resin's incredible, though.
Stuff.
I mean, you can smash it with a hammer and it just bounces back.
That's impressive.
But the smell's so bad, I swore I'd never use it again.
So, unfortunately, I don't have an example of like the finished thing. But to give you an idea of what goes into making the multicolor stuff, basically. So like this is one that I did. These are the 2 parts of one that I did that was just 2 color. And basically you kind of pre-plan what you're going to do, and you'd have, sometimes I do a rectangle, sometimes I do a circle, sometimes I do a plus shape, just depending on what I'm feeling at the moment, I guess. But I just make sure that each color has the same placing and the same shape of like a registration shape. And then I just put the transfer tape on it and peel it off the backing like I normally do, but I just apply it on top of the previous cut layer over and over again. And as long as you're very, very careful with your alignment, I can get pretty tight tolerances. This is not.
Okay, so it's multiple pieces there.
Yeah. It's not.
That's great.
So like I don't know how well you can see that, but it's not
Looks like
white.
you have
Oh, wow.
no, like there's no gap between it.
No, yeah, it's
That looks like a ton of work, man.
really,
How
really
you can get a
Really
white
sucks.
border? Oh, and the white border around that is also separate. Wow.
yeah. So the white,
Caleb's got a lot of time.
the white, the white is the underlayer. The NASA and the stars and the swoosh are not. Those are not an additional layer on top of that. That's just a peek
The
through of the
white
underlayer. The red and the blue are the only two layers on top.
Oh, okay. So it is multiple layers, though.
It
Few
is.
layers.
And
Yes.
it doesn't peel off itself. It actually sticks.
Nope.
No, it works.
Huh.
Works
I
pretty
haven't
nice.
used the vinyl
here.
cutter that much yet.
JD, if you look at, I'm sharing my screen here. If you want
Yeah.
to see, this is what I did. This is on the other side of the wall here. This is what I did for mine, and you can
Ooh.
see there's a vent there. It goes up. This actually shares the exhaust vent with my laser cutter. I've got blast gates to close them off because I don't use them at the same time. So, and then I have on the bottom here a 12 volt, 350 watt meanwhile power supply, and I wired all the printers off that one power supply. So
Oh, nice.
there's a little battery backup hiding down here. There's a little Wi-Fi outlet that controls. There's a light inside here too.
So it's a 24 volt power supply then.
12. These are actually all 12.
Oh. Huh.
Is
All
that
the
the-
one I have are 19 volt.
Is
Yeah,
that the
mine are
shelf
all
you were
12.
just talking about, or?
Yeah, this is the shelf. So you can see here. Do you see how these have like a finish front on them where there's no holes there, JD?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the kind. They're usually like $10 more. And then you can see here the shelf is actually got black laminate on it.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah.
So they look a little nice. And then as you see my Harbor Freight toolbox over there.
Yeah, those are nice toolboxes. I have one of those in my garage.
They're good for the price. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I did. I have two wash and cure stations. You can see those at the bottom there. But I actually haven't printed with resin in like probably 6 or 7 months because I don't really have anything that needs it. Oh, yeah, there you go, Josh. You happy?
Yes.
Don't build one of these unless you got 9 hours of time. That's how long it takes.
Is that a LED cube?
Yes.
Those
Yeah.
are fun. The last one I made was a 3x3.
Yeah, that's an 8x8. I also have here, so I got my stuff all set up in Home Assistant. I can actually change my lights behind me.
You got a Among Us light.
Your lamp is stuck.
Look, I can just let's do like outrun type thing. There you go, the red and purple, or the blue and purple.
Lamp is stuck.
Hang on, let me change that. I'll do this one to blue. There we go. So my next thing is right now people when I'm live streaming can type !cube and it'll change to the pattern it does. There's a webhook, and then that webhook goes to Home Assistant. Home Assistant then sends a command to a Wi-Fi infrared blaster, and the Wi-Fi infrared blaster sends a command to the cube. So there's like 5 steps just to change it.
That's awesome, though.
But it'd be cool though. Can you imagine like I'm streaming and it's like this is what I call my night mode. I have like an automation for it's like I guess you can call it like a scene. So I can say, hey Google, turn off night mode. And then there it goes. So it turns the overhead lights on, all the accessory lighting turns off, and I can say, hey Google, turn on night mode. And then it'll shut the overhead lights off and kick on all the auxiliary lighting. So
That's
Oh,
pretty cool.
you just triggered mine. I don't have a night mode set, so I don't know what the hell it just did.
Do you remember when they were making the TV commercials where they were triggering Alexa and Google?
yes.
That was
yeah.
fantastic. That was just like brilliant marketing.
My dog knocked my charger out of my power strip.
Oh,
Smart
I always
dog.
wanted to like make a scene because I've got hue light bulbs throughout the house. Like I don't know if you've seen that meme. It's like the
Put
red
alert.
alert. Yeah, like
Yeah,
a red
yeah.
alert. And,
Yeah.
I need to find.
Yeah.
that would
I
be
need
cool.
to start working on like replacing because I got a couple of the Hue kits when they were pretty much the only thing you could get on the market, and I got a couple that were on sale. So I was like, oh, they're a good price. I'll get started on them. But now the Hue stuff is so much more expensive, and then I mean, there's so much more affordable stuff out there that works just as
So-
good. And I need to start switching.
So if you're in
LED.
the Home Assistant, these were like, I think these were $20 a bulb, and these run Tasmota. So that's what's in those back there.
Okay.
Which
And they're-
means
and they're
it's
RGB?
local. Yeah, RGB CW. So it's also got not only RGB, but it's also got cool white and warm white.
That's like the Philips Hue lights I just got. My only complaint is they're just not very bright.
Yeah, these are decent. Like
Turn this on here, and did it get any brighter? No.
here, so this is here. I'm turning
That's all
these
it
on
does.
here. So that's those on the white. So there's cool white, warm white. I can go somewhere in between if I want to. But they're like 60 watt equivalent is what they say. I got them basically just for ambiance. I always liked these little like standing lights, and I was like, they look kind of cool on the stream. I got like my little couch back there, and there's like printed crap on the wall, my flag, and all the other stuff. So
what did you? Do they have? So what did you say those were called?
it's a company called Atham. They're on AliExpress. I wasn't sure if they'd actually show up, but they did, and they're as advertised. So I can't complain. I do a lot of switches and RGB strips. So like the RGB strips in my rep box here, that's running off a Wemos D1 Mini with ESP Home for the firmware. And then I've got addressable strips on the shelf here for the printers. Those are running off an ESP 8266. So, but I wanted just a bulb that I can screw in, and I'm happy with this. One of the guys on the TH3D Discord server, we have a home automation section. And I posted, I was like, okay, guys, what is everybody using for bulbs? Because most of the stuff I do is either I DIY my stuff for RGB, or I just have like in-wall Z-Wave switches or Tasmota flash Wi-Fi switches. So, but yeah, these worked out great. I'm pretty happy with them. I'm actually going to reach out to them, see if they do wholesale, because I'm trying to branch out more into home automation stuff that is specifically locally controlled, not any of this cloud crap.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I want to pick up a couple of those little power outlets that you just launched. Those are pretty cool.
I have like 20 of them on my network right now for printers and lighting. Like
Yeah. So in Germany, D-Log is selling Tasmota flashed hardware. Not the Sonos which you have to flash yourself, but I recently sorry for the plug, but I recently did a video on you can buy a very cheap LED tube, rip out the strip that's in there, and put in some RGB LEDs, and then a strip, and then add your favorite microcontroller to control it. It's a bit of a DIY, but it runs me $2 maybe.
Is that you want to add a link to your channel?
Make and modify. I posted it.
I don't think it'll let you post it. Post it in the private chat, and then I'll paste it in myself.
My next project, I'm hoping I can do it this year, is I'm going to install NeoPixel strips, the WS2012 style stuff, around all of the gutters on all the house, and have a permanent installation. So in my attic, I'm assuming in my attic, I'm just going to have like a bunch of Meanwhile power supplies just scattered around to power them all, because I'm going to see if I can get 24-volt ones, because then the power drop should be less. But imagine I can just like press a button, boom.
You can just be like,
decorate for Christmas, boom.
You can just make a
July.
scene. It's called like Griswold mode, like from that Christmas movie.
So they also make lights that look like traditional Christmas lights, like the string lights that are addressable RGB. So
I have those.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all out, like every light on my front lawn.
So here's the cool thing: if you chain those to a Raspberry Pi, and because they're addressable, you can actually, you can play a movie on them.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Your pixel count is, I think it's 10,000 lights is the max it supports.
I feel like I'd hit that limit. We have a ranch. Our house is a ranch, so it's very long. So, but I can always run multiple Pis. And in terms of Wi-Fi coverage, I'm good. I got Unify access points everywhere here.
Yeah, I use these, string them up in front of the house, and then I can just change the colors for whichever holiday.
Yeah. Do any of you guys have an experience with like setting up projectors? Because I'm going to be doing that in a couple of weeks. And
I've done quite a few home theaters.
Yeah, I learned that once you get past like the consumer level projectors and you go into like the higher end ones, you have to get custom mounts and plates for them. I had no idea. I figured I'd just go buy a mount, and then found out the projector I bought is too big and too heavy for standard mounts. I did not realize how big this thing was when I bought it. I got a JVC DILA 4K projector, and
that's like a 30-pound box.
It's 47 pounds. I had to put extra bracing in the soffit where I'm going to mount it, because I was on the AV forums, and they're like, yeah, you're going to want like 2 to 3, maybe 4 studs for that.
Yeah, the mounts you get for those are like, they're basically a shelf that you can then angle and adjust.
The one I found was it has like the pivot and stuff, but there's a plate that snaps into that goes to the projector, and they don't actually have a part number that's publicly accessible for the plate. I actually had to go through a home theater installer to order it, because the peasants like me can't just order.
I have gone through that. It was
wild. I'm like, why can't I just? Where's the part number for this damn plate? I know I need the mount, the ceiling portion, the down rod, the actual like adjustment part, and then the plate to go to that, to mount from the projector to that, and I can't find the part number. I ended up having to call this place in Minnesota that someone recommended, and they're like, oh yeah, here it is. And it wasn't terrible. It was like $300, but I was like, that's expensive. But then I was like, well, I also spent a lot of money on the projector, and I don't want to go down there and find, a couple $1,000 projector on the floor.
Or on your head when you walk by,
Yeah.
Someone slams the door to the theater room and the thing falls off.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah. I pulled all my speaker wire, my network cables, my RCAs for my subs, got everything all shielded. I got 12 gauge run for all my speakers.
Are you going to do ambient lighting around the screen?
So I already have power. I got a fixed mount screen, a 150-inch fixed mount, and I'm going to pull it or space it away from the wall about an inch, and then run addressable lights around it. And I'm going to do an HDMI capture, so it'll do the edge lighting to match what's on the screen. So, and then I also got a Z-Wave scene controller from the wall, so you'll just be able to go down there, press a button, it'll set all the lights and everything automatically for you and turn the saver on. I got one of those Harmony Elite remotes with the Wi-Fi hub, so all the equipment's going to be in a cabinet, and the remote's RF to the hub.
Did you get one of the gray screens?
No, I got one of it's called Cinewhite. Elite Screens makes it. So, but my buddy recommended it. He has a projector, and he recommended that. And then when I told him about the mount, he was like, yeah, I have no idea. I was able to buy a mount on Amazon for my projector. I was like, yeah, I can't find anything.
Yeah, as long as the room can get dark enough, then a white screen is better.
There's no windows.
If you have any windows or anything, then you go with a gray screen, because it gives you more contrast when there's a little bit of backlighting.
Yeah.
Ambient lighting.
Yeah, so my plan is, so the room's like 600 square feet. I've got a soffit directly dividing the room in half. So I'm going to have 2 zones for lighting. I got 6-inch puck lights, 6-inch puck lights on either side, hooked up to Z-Wave dimmers, so I can dim each zone. Like if we're watching a movie, obviously you want to turn the ones off that are on the screen side, but if we have like people hanging out on the other side, want to be able to have those like dimmer so they can still see what they're doing over there. But in terms, I definitely want to get some RGB action going there. I was thinking about doing crown molding, inch down from the ceiling, with light strips in there to like bounce the light off the ceiling. So
yeah, that would look nice. That'd actually be a lot like what you find in a theater. They always have the sconces with the light framed up.
Yeah, I thought about doing sconces.
Lights for like walkways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like using the tube lights for that.
I'm torn between getting theater seats or just getting a couple of get a big ass sectional down there. Like, it's more of like we'll have a projector in the screen down there, but it's more of like an entertainment / hangout room. I also got a couple of retro computers I'm going to set up in there on the other side.
Yeah, I would avoid the theater seats that chain together.
Yeah, that's like what we were like. I was like,
always break.
Yeah, I was like, let's just get a nice sectional and maybe a couple lazy boys and throw them down there.
Go with the mechanical recliner too. The electric system, they always fail, and sometimes they do it spectacularly.
Yeah, we'll see. I got everything run. I pulled 2 active the 4K monoprice in-wall 18 gigabit per second cables to the projector. So I got 2. So if one goes bad, I have backup. I got networked by the projector, and I put a 15 amp receptacle in the ceiling and ran that back to where the cabinet's going to be, and got a receptacle that's like, you know, what you find on like your computer, the little IEC. So I can plug the projector into a battery backup that's mounted in the cabinet. So if the power goes out, I can shut it down and let it cool the bulb down.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's a good way to kill your projector, is having it turn off without the cooling running.
Yeah. Considering the bulbs are $600, I was like, well, we'll do this. I had to see, like, it was all stripped, all the drywall's down. So I was like, put a box up, ran the cable, and I'm good. So I did all my own electric. It's one thing I can do. I don't do drywall though. My buddy came and did all the drywall for me. So
sounds like a pretty killer setup.
Hopefully, we got a lot of work left to do though. So
the last one I did was this guy wanted to install basically a theater in his kid's room. It was like his birthday present for his teenager.
Yeah.
So we put in like a 14.2 surround system and a 140-inch electric roll-up display. It was pretty sick. I mean, what like 15-year-old wouldn't want that setup, you know?
Yeah,
and,
I mean, I want that setup.
And that was just for gaming, really, not even for movies, just to game on.
Yeah, gaming.
We had like 1,000 watts of speakers in there, and
my buddy was like, "Man, the projector you got, there's like 40 milliseconds of latency." I was like, "I'm not doing gaming on it. It's for movies." I was like, "I want a good picture quality," and from what I read, the JVC that I have, I was torn between the JVC and the Sony. I guess the JVC has better darks or black levels than the Sony, so. But I realize I'm not looking at them in person, so whatever I get is probably going to look pretty good, you know? So
yeah, you're never going to see them next to each other.
Yep. So once it's up, I mean, it's gonna be great. I've already got, I have a receiver and speakers and everything upstairs. Like I got they're Polk towers. They're about this tall, with 4 6.5-inch drivers in them, and I'm running those off of a Denon 7.2 receiver. So, and I've got 2 12-inch big acoustic subs. Those are going up front next to the towers. So I have the 2 towers running those bi-amped off the receiver, matching center channel, and then 2 bookshelves. They call them bookshelves, but they're like this big. By that, they're Polk Monitor 30s for the surrounds. So I was thinking about doing Atmos, but there's like not much out there that takes advantage of it still. So I'll just be running a 5.2 setup, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's good for pretty much every movie out there.
Yeah, because if you got tracks that are 7.2, it's just going to fold those side speakers into the rears anyways. So, but I'm disappointed. I have, from when I worked retail, I actually have a Denon employee account still, but they are out of stock on all the receivers because it's going to be like, well, let's get a new one. And it's like 50% off. So like if there's like a receiver that's like $2,000, I can pick it up for $1,000.
You know what? I always recommend against them. They don't last.
I've had mine for 5 years now.
I mean, there's exceptions, but I've replaced a lot of Denons over the years. Probably the most of any head unit that I've ever had to replace.
I really like the Odyssey room correction though that they use, and the unit I have has their XT32. Which is
put the microphone in the middle of the room and have it go through.
It makes it sound so good. Like I had a Yamaha receiver, and the Yamaha receiver sound good, but the room correction was nowhere near the same level that the Denon has. And Odyssey is not their tech; they license it, but it's like one of the
the Yamaha version of that. It's a lot of manual.
Yeah,
work.
This one I just do it. It sounds great, you know. So, but like I've got their AVR X3200W. Which was like a $1,200 receiver at the time that I got for like $500 through the employee pricing thing. So I'm surprised they haven't killed my account off because I haven't worked in retail for like 10 years. But I logged in, I was like, shit, because I can also get Marantz too. But they're all out of stock on there because I was like, maybe I'll get a big one, you know, drop a chunk of cash on a big one for downstairs and leave my one I have up there. Now, the one I have upstairs is like still like 1,300 watts RMS, so it's not anything, you know, wimpy, but I was like, what I would do is upstairs is just put some smaller satellites with a sub and move all the big speakers. My wife's not a big fan of the big tower speakers sitting in the living room, and the two 12-inch subs. They take up some space. So I'd explained to her what WAF meant. Are you familiar with that term?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wife acceptance. Yeah.
Yeah, the wife acceptance factor. The bigger the speaker, the better they sound, but the wife acceptance factor goes down. So
Yeah, it's not like with 3D printing.
the I
The
can't tell you.
disappointment when you add a new 3D printer to your collection. It's like, oh, you got another one? What's wrong with the other one you have?
They're like Pokemon. You got to collect them all, okay?
Yeah.
I would know. I've got like 70 of them here. It's ridiculous. I need to start
Holy-
selling off. Like, we run print farms here, okay? So we do use them for business, but I mean, like, we could realistically get rid of half of them and still be more than able to keep up with our print demand. So
But that's not fun.
yeah, I know. It's crazy. I run, if you guys do have a lot of printers and you're using Pies, I run PoE splitters off of my switches to power the Pies. So all my Pies are run off of the switches. So I've got all, last year, I finally took the leap and upgraded all of our network equipment here to Unify. So I've got all their switches. I've already had their access points. I got their router and everything. And I even got their building to building. There's a thing on the outside here that beams a 60 gigahertz signal to the shop. And it's 1.7 gigabits full duplex transmission rate. So that saved me from having to trench a cable out there for network. So
Your electric bill must be astronomical.
it's only like $700 a month, okay? I'm not even joking.
It's only 10
$700 a month.
times. So it's 10 times what I pay for my whole house. every
That's in
month.
the winter. You should see when we have 4 AC units here. I've got
Although,
a
during
mini
the
split
summer
here.
out here, my bill does go up like 5 times that.
I was gonna say because I've got a mini split in my office here. We have two 2-ton mini splits in the shop, and then we've got a 3-ton unit on the house. So, I am gonna have to drop off because the puppy needs to go outside. So
Yeah, I gotta drop off too. I got a few things that I gotta do tonight before I'm meeting up with a friend. So
Cool.
it was fun
thanks
hanging
for
out
being
with
on.
you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah,
letting me
thank
hang
you,
out. I
guys.
appreciate it.
All right. Well, you guys have a good weekend. See you later,
Good
nerds.
seeing everybody.
You too.
Yeah.
Later.
Again,
I have something regarding the RGB stuff. I just have an RGB strip here, which is my whole lighting setup, despite my screens. So it's a VMOS D1 Mini, and I have this funky window here where I can set the color and have some effects. Yeah, I think I'm trying to do it like this. Yeah. Here is the microcontroller, which is connected to my Wi-Fi. Can make it brighter. Can change color, which is not that cool, but there are some effect presets that I really like. So this is Police.
Yeah, it looks good on the screen too. It has a kind of cool 80s vibe to it, you know, with it lighting
Yeah.
up your face like that.
Yeah,
That's actually what I intended with this little the Philips Hue one. I was going to put it just right under my desk right here, and it does a pretty good job of kind of glowing up and over. We got Dan joining us now. I'll bring you
and
in.
your fancy LEDs. I
Hey,
just bought
welcome
like
on.
a $4 strip from Walmart and just the shitty little remote that comes with it.
Yeah.
Like literally $4. But they work. I mean,
Yeah.
That's probably what I should have gotten because half of the Hue lights I got don't fit the sockets I have. So
by the way, I'll drop a GitHub link in the YouTube chat for this WLED because it works with a bunch of microcontrollers, I think, and it's really easy to set up. Yeah. And a friend of mine is actually part of the dev team for this software. Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
What's up, guys?
Fusion.
So what's going on, fellas?
It's Fusion.
Yeah, I figured I'd kind of cross over and hang out with you guys for a little while. I figured, there's room for my face everywhere, right?
I've been on your stream before, but
yes,
I joined right when you had logged out. It was like at the same minute. So it's like, oh well, I guess I'll catch you next time.
It tends to happen, man. And the thing is like, as you guys are finding out here, as some of you have popped into my streams and have seen, we tend to talk about anything and everything, and that's why I'm glad to see more communities are doing stuff like this, where it's just kind of like
it's fun,
casual hangout. We'll talk about projects. We'll talk about I had stuffed peppers for dinner last night, and crazy things like that. Just the everything. You know what I mean? It's nice.
Yeah, to have I found that anytime I try and actually plan something for it, that doesn't work. It's a lot easier to just run around like a crazy person for 3 minutes before starting and go.
Yes. Yeah. I find that when I join somebody's chat and they're just talking, or if I start a chat and we're just hanging out, I find that those tend to be the easiest ones to do, because it's just like hit start, hit join, and you jump in. But if you try to plan something, like I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, the hands are getting sweaty. I'm getting a little like, what's going on? And it seems like the planned ones always seem to be more nerve-wracking than just letting it ride,
Yeah, we had the VertCon stream about a month ago, and that ended up running for 7 hours.
We had you guys were at it for a while.
Yeah, we had like 3 hours.
You had no sleep.
That's player 2. Oh man, it was 6 in the morning when you logged out.
Yeah, 8 a.m.
And he turned the camera around and he's like,
I watched the recording.
Yeah. It was much fun though.
It was, and we got a lot of pre-recorded content, twice what I thought we would end up with. That's actually what made it run so much longer.
Nice.
But it's always good to have more than less on it.
Yeah, because you always find that more people will stick around if you tell them you have the content, then they'll be angry if they have to leave early because you didn't have enough content. So it's always nice when there's more,
Gonna have to start lining up some more people. I have to put my publicist hat back on and start bothering people on Twitter.
Yeah, and since this one actually recorded, you can point them at VertCon and say, hey, this is what it is.
We have to get a better schedule, though, because that was a huge clusterfuck.
No schedule. Jump in, jump out.
Oh, I know, but like for guests, though, like a lot of people, like Drew didn't show up at all because he didn't really know when he was supposed to be on.
The schedule based on the sleeping schedule.
Yeah, it's always tough. And then for the 0 days, that did not record at all. So that was kind of disappointing because that one was pretty fun. Would have been nice to go back and revisit that.
Well, from here on forward, though, we can record them. So,
yeah, StreamYard, very nice, very easy. Although I kind of want something better. It works. It's good.
It's pretty good.
It's easy. I don't think it's really good.
Well, we have Caleb, though. I mean,
that's true. If he was in here manning the controls, then everything goes a lot smoother. Or the last stream we did a couple of days ago, I left a message up from Ronarine up on the screen for like an hour. I didn't even see it there. It was covered by another window I had open. It was kind of funny though.
Yeah. So, I'm starting.
MSP, you got your dog down there.
Yeah, she came and started like jumping on the side of the chair. Pet me.
Yeah, I'm still here, guys. I do apologize. My wife just stepped in, so we're just sitting here chatting. She asked me who you guys all were, and I said, these are the Cyberdeck guys. They make the cool little computers. They do all the parts and stuff. And so I'm on the Discord right now going through pictures trying to show her like all the stuff you guys do.
So you should check out the gallery page from VertCon. It's in the VertCon category, and it's the gallery. We had everyone put them in there so everyone could see all at once. There we go, Blasto, the only one of us that has a working Cyberdeck.
Mine works too.
Mine will work
sorry,
if I
guys,
ever.
she's looking now, so sorry. But these are their Cyberdecks that they've got.
Are they
currently with them.
computers?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, those are
I
all.
want a computer like that.
See, I told these guys I got to build one of these.
Shiny
Now
chrome.
you guys are showing it off. It's getting
I
it.
don't want the purple one.
You want the purple one? Yeah. See,
You can print it.
look at them. Look, they're all.
Is that an antenna?
Yeah, that's a wireless antenna on the side of that one. That one's actually built into a case.
Those
It's
are
got
the
a locking
boards that
case.
go in the computers and stuff?
Yeah, those are some of the boards, and then like he's got like a little handheld one here.
The
MSG.
purple
That's
one
just
here
got a
is
little
actually
handheld
the
one.
Pi 400. I just painted it.
See, that's like, I know what that is. That's a board that goes in the computer.
Yes, that is. That's the little. That's
I was
a,
wondering what happened to your computer. Must have not realized it was the latte fan.
so. See, like I'm glad you guys actually pulled those out and started showing them because
What's
that
that
means
thing?
like that's
What's
a
that do?
keyboard. That's a keyboard for
Yeah.
One half of the keyboard.
It's one half of the keyboard. He's actually got
Oh.
two of them. You open them up, and it's basically one hand on each one.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Oh, puppy.
Yes, there's puppies too. These guys have animals too. They're pet lovers as well. See, look at Blastos. He's got like the big white one there with like.
See, but I need the number pad.
Yeah.
I need the number thing.
You can do the number pad as a separate thing that can be attached to it, so it can be
You
a
have a
separate
little,
piece altogether.
little nub mouse.
He's got the little nub mouse. So instead of having like
Oh,
this,
that's the number thing.
yeah, see, you can do a little number pad on the side that can be a side option. So when you're just typing,
Or you can just
you can
build
type
it.
and
Can
then
you make me a
Whatever
number
you
pad
want.
to build my laptop?
yes, that's kind of what he's got right there. What he was just showing you. That is a number pad that can still connect to.
For my work stuff, because
Yeah.
typing on those stupid numbers up top is stupid.
So you guys actually got it, so we're like, I can have another hobby that she won't be mad about now because
Yeah,
it's
see that right there.
yeah.
So
Oh,
now
I
you
have
can make
memorized.
two of them. Make one
Yeah.
for her, one for you.
That'll be the plan. Is I'll
You can do
build the
some other
first
fun
one.
things like having a super wide screen display. You know, you can do
Yeah,
some
I'll see
unique
the one
things.
display. That's the display alone. It's like it's
Super
not very
wide
tall, but it's
LCD.
very wide.
So I
So
wanted to challenge like Jim and Pooch, and I don't know if Tim wants to get in on it or not. Like they have like a Cyberdeck build off just between them and have it on like hot mix or something.
yeah,
So I know Jim had said he wanted to like collab with me and do a Cyberdeck, you know, because we are probably like maybe 20 minutes away from each other.
yeah.
So
Well, that's the thing is I honestly think it should be one of those things where it's like I think with our little maker communities here and the way things are, yes, it'd be kind of cool if we were doing some more of like not necessarily I wouldn't necessarily call it crossover, but crossover stuff. You know, where like some of us who are more into like the 3D printing side would step more into like the electronic side. Then the guys who are more into the electronic side step over towards the 3D printing stuff. You know what I mean? And like maybe not me because I'm terrible at pretty much everything. I can do a little bit here and there, but I would think it'd be kind of cool to be where like you guys with a lot of the, you know, like the electronics design stuff, take that and be like, okay, now we're going to show you guys how to kind of like put these things together and how to do it and how to design it, and then have some of the guys on the 3D printing side who are a little bit more into the actual like design side. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of that skill already because I mean a lot of your parts are designed by you guys anyway. But just to see the crossover between the two, you know what I mean? Like, you know, see you
Yeah.
guys' face a
We
little
have
bit more
a
with us.
bit of that already now too.
Yeah.
Like, Zach Friedman's in our group, and
Yep.
he's been hanging out and making some cool stuff. Just did a Cyberdeck this last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
Zach's.
so cool.
Zach, funny as hell. I never really paid attention, and I'd seen Zach's videos a few years back when he had done those couple, when he had done a little bit.
Yeah,
And
the
I'd
hand
seen-
controller one.
Yeah, and then when he came back again, he started pushing out more content here in the last year. Seeing all that, I was like, why does this guy look familiar? And I started going back through his backlog of videos, and I was like, I remember this one. I'm like,
And
that's
he's an
why he
animal.
looks familiar.
He's got
That's why he-
videos coming out every week. Like, I don't know how he
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a hard time putting out one video like every 6 months, apparently.
Yeah, it stopped for 2 years.
Yes, I spend too much time in streams talking to everybody. Like anymore, it's like, I guess I should probably start making videos. And then now she's yelling at me that if I'm going to do this, I need to start doing stuff. So she's
So,
getting.
one of the projects we have going is we have this thing going called the Universal Cyber Deck, and the idea is that you build a module that is a case for a particular piece of hardware, and see, we got a feedback going. Someone's mic is feedback here.
It can't be MSG this time. He's muted.
Yeah, it's normally me, but not this time.
No, not Dan. All right. Well, I was just saying we have this project going called the Universal Cyber Deck, and the idea is you buy a screen like this, you design the case for it, and you make it so that it can mount to extrusion, like the 10 millimeter extrusion or the 20 millimeter. And then if every single person who owns a piece of hardware, like a different display, a different board, you all make that module that's compatible to the same backbone, the same extrusion piece. Between all the group members, we could have hundreds of these cases that are all able to be bolted onto the same frame. And then anyone will be able to download those models when they buy that same display, the same keyboard, the same SBC. You'll be able to just bolt it all together. And, then you just instantly have a cyber deck without having to go through the, starting from zero, right? That's always the hardest part. Start from zero and you are just reinventing the same wheel that everyone else has.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. That would definitely make the basic design a whole lot easier for you guys with having
even the one I did here, metal, is completely based off of 2020, and there's a piece of 2040 going in between the keyboard and the body, and then there's another piece of 2020 in the back.
That's what this is right here.
It's totally modular, customizable,
and
it's really easy to
super tough.
Yeah,
it's a very strong material to build out of too,
Yeah, I was going to say rigidity is going to be, it's definitely a lot more rigid than just straight 3D printed parts. I mean, you can put infill in there all you want and add some ribbing here and there to help add support, but plastic is plastic, and you get that aluminum.
And the size too. You can only print so large, but you can have a huge piece of extrusion and connect all the individual prints to it.
Yep.
So you could have whatever size thing you need to fit all of the hardware you want on there.
Yeah.
And that's so we've been working on that project for a while. That would be a perfect one to collaborate on with anyone else that wants to get in on this.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I've got. I know one of the guys in the community over more in the 3D printing, Jerry, some of you guys might know him, 3D printing and painting. Yeah, he's currently got a stream going right now too. And I was going to pop in here and hang out with you guys for a little bit. And then if his is still going, pop over there. And then if you don't mind, I was just going to say 3D Printing Llama, another guy some of you guys would probably know or have seen. He's, the Angry Llama. He's doing his 500 subscriber giveaway tonight, so he's giving away a couple of printed solid gift cards. So, and he hit me up and he said, "Hey, I was thinking about doing it." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll join you. We'll do one too." So my wife and I are throwing in a gift card for him as well. So, but we'll be over there too. So I'll definitely be bringing that up and talking to everybody and letting them know that this is something that's kind of cool. And I've been wanting to get into the project for a while, and thankfully my wife came out here at like the perfect time. Because I'm on here with you guys, and you guys are showing them off. So it's like she's like, "Ooh, I want that!" Like I muted the mic because she's like, "I want a keyboard now. You gotta make me a number pad. I need a number pad." So it's like that's the gateway right there for me. The number pad will be the gateway into the community. You know what I mean? Like get in with you guys more, and because it started with a number pad. That'll be the story I tell like 5 years down the road. Be like, "Yeah, I got into this through a number pad," and you guys will know that.
We've got a lot of mechanical keyboard weebs in our group. So, it's
definitely a popular subject,
Yeah, I still need to build one. I
still say hand wire. Hand wiring is fun.
Yeah, but I suck at soldering.
You won't by the time you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
good way to
I'm
cut
no
your
good with a
teeth.
soldering iron now, but I'm sure once I get into this more, that'll change.
Yeah, if you have to do 700 solder joints to complete a keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
My
by the
soldering
first one, I'm
iron-
burning myself. By the end, I'm a pro, right?
Yeah. I mean, like the keyboard on the deck I just showed. I mean, that's all hand soldered. There's no PCB
Just
in there.
remember not to
Yeah.
hold it by the metal part.
Oh, you mean where
Yeah,
is it?
hang on, I
If
have,
it smells like chicken, you're holding it wrong.
It's everybody's favorite piece of stock photo. Ready?
Yeah.
I one because
Did you see that?
we kind of rebuilt this casual stock image where this lady holds the soldering iron on the metal piece.
Yeah.
And we
Did
kind
you
of
see the one where there was a
remember
guy? He took a multimeter and he was like holding the probes onto like pavement, onto like the road or whatever, and he didn't even have them plugged in like the correct holes on the meter anyway.
Do you remember seeing the Banksy painting, the one that shredded itself during the auction?
Yeah.
He released a behind-the-scenes video showing supposedly how he built that thing. Well, I caught in that footage, he's doing the thing holding the soldering iron by the metal part while he's pretending to be soldering the board up together, which is exactly when I knew he was trolling everybody with that build video.
Yeah.
It was bullshit. And that was the giveaway. He's holding it by the metal part. I don't think anyone even caught on to that.
Yeah, there were several parts that were different from one chip to the other. 2 or 3 different machines were this, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
I found the so if you look up the hackerspace, my local hackerspace. If you look up my local hackerspace and look into the photos, there's me kind of.
That's great.
Which space? Sorry, but which space is this? Is that Munich?
Yeah, Munich Maker Lab.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit too far.
Where are you located?
Near Koblenz.
Well,
Cologne. But recently I was for work in Munich before the pandemic, and visited the Chaos Computer Club.
Chaos Computer Club. The other thing is the Chaos Communication Congress.
Yeah, we did a map for that this year. I don't know if that. It's a bit international, but Chaos Communication Congress is a bit hacker congress in Germany, and this year it was purely digital. And the fun thing this time was each assembly could build a 2D map, which were then joined into a giant map, and you had a virtual character. Looked a bit like Zelda, and you could customize it and walk around. And if you got close to someone, you could talk to him via camera and microphone.
That's pretty
There
cool.
were talks, and that was one of the coolest virtual events I attended so far.
How did I miss that?
And it was free. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they start having maker fairs and stuff again, because I managed to get to the Milwaukee Maker Fair just once, and it was the year before last, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Jim was there, and I met Matt from Akuma Mods. He was there too. There was a lot of cool people there.
Yeah, I've never made it to any of the larger maker fairs, just some of the local ones that the colleges put on.
Yeah,
I've gone to a lot of Comic Cons, just not the maker fairs.
It was a good time. There was a lot of cool stuff there. There was the Milwaukee Makerspace was like doing some sort of sorcery with high amounts of current and shrinking coins, which was really cool.
Yeah, those are fun.
It was right next to the painting area, and I was painting. Here, I can show my beautiful
Those
artwork.
things are incredibly loud when they trigger them.
This is my beautiful artwork. It's a
Pokemon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shuffle. He's the best one.
Okay.
But like there's several like screw ups on here because they wouldn't announce like when they were going to do it. So all of a sudden you'd be this like painting quietly, and then it's so.
Yeah, massive capacitor discharge. Those things are crazy.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, check out shrinking coins with electricity. It's really crazy.
Yeah,
I think I saw a video on that.
You know, I was thinking we really need a maker event in New Mexico because it's really easy to fly to, as long as it's not in the wintertime. You know, somewhere more central. There's a lot of these out, you know, on the East Coast and up north, and you know, can be kind of a hassle, like to get out to Murph. You know, you fly in, rent a car, drive for like 6 hours to get there.
Yeah, and there's no hotels there.
And there's no hotels, and there's nothing to do there either. Like, you know, it's good to have an event somewhere where there's some good museums and, you know, some other stuff going. New Mexico has a lot of that. And it's kind of a central spot to the country, you know?
Oh, I don't know if I'd call New Mexico central, but...
Well, it's as close to the middle as you can get without going so far that the weather is terrible.
Oh, I don't know, like Illinois, Wisconsin, that's pretty central. I mean,
yeah, but Wisconsin
the
is like
Midwest
right now.
No, it's not. It's actually really nice out right now. It is 53 degrees. It is shorts weather.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's almost 60 degrees down here in Illinois. I'd say Illinois, but most of our government likes to shill, so it's Illinois.
Yeah, I've been down there for a few anime conventions and whatnot, and like get the total from buying something at a booth, and like taxes like 20-something% or something, and it's just insane.
Yeah. Well, another reason is New Mexico is also very cheap. We could rent out the whole lobby of a hotel for nothing.
Yeah,
we're currently having snow in
New Mexico.
We're currently having snow in Munich. It's actually freezing, and it's below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, below 0 Celsius.
So it's t-shirt weather.
Yeah, definitely.
Didn't you say it was cold when you were working on your car, and I asked you like how hot it was, and it was like 50 degrees? And you're like,
Me?
oh, it was cold. Yeah.
Yeah, it was humid.
You're like, oh, it's cold. And I'm like,
hey, I'm only wearing the hoodie because if you stand out there for a long period of time, it can get a little chilly. But
it's mainly the wind. I mean, otherwise it's pretty nice.
You know, when I was doing that work on the car, it was 103 or so during the day, and then had dropped to, 47 or 50 at night. And, when you get accustomed to the heat after a couple of months, then, the cold is, it really hits. It gets down to 70 and you're shivering, It's that acclimation.
I'm also well insulated, so I suppose that plays a factor too.
Yeah, I'm better insulated now too after being home from COVID.
Yeah,
that's where
to lose weight.
19.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, I thought I'll have more time to to work out and stuff, and I do have more time to do that. I just not doing.
Yeah, you have more time to do it. You just don't want to do it. I understand that one. Like, I want to get up every morning a half an hour early and leave for work so I can spend a half an hour at work in the gym there, because I work in a school. For those who don't know, I work in a school, and we have a weight room, which I could go use any of the equipment I want, and I could get up a half hour early, go into work and do that for a half an hour, and then go to work, or stick around a half an hour late after work and do that. But I'd rather not be there any longer than I have to.
Understandable.
Especially off the clock. I mean, who wants to hang out at work for free?
Yeah, it depends.
I guess it depends on what you do. I mean, I can see some jobs where hanging out after work for free could be a bonus, but working in a school is not one of them.
Yeah, no, most of the time not. But we have a bigger CNC machine than I have here, so yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if you can play with fancier toys than you can at home, and the boss
Excuse
doesn't
me a
care as long as
second.
you're not on the clock when it's personal use, so then I mean, yeah, I get the whole like, yeah, I'm going to stay at work tonight for extra hour and work on a project.
Yeah, what we usually have on Friday evening, or like Friday after work, we just have a beer and talk.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
social things like that aren't too bad, but the problem is when you're the IT guy, you don't really get the time off, because if somebody sees you and you're doing something that doesn't look like it's work related, they'll ask you to do something that's work related, and you're like, not on the clock yet, and they're like, well, it's like, well, I guess I'm on the clock now. So I've learned, like, I eat my lunch in my office. I don't eat with staff, even before, like, the whole COVID thing where they try to separate us now anyway. Like, even before that, like, I would still get my lunch and go back to my office and eat, because if I'd sit there and try to eat lunch, it would always be like, hey, by the way, my this doesn't work. By the way, my that doesn't work. By the way, can you stop by my classroom because this isn't working? It's like, do you see the fork in my hand? Do you see the food in front of my face? You know where my brain's at right now. Just send me an email and I'll come see you later.
I know that from my old place. So yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely know what you're talking about. It's kind of annoying when you're just trying to enjoy your meal and then someone shows up. So hey, my computer's not working. Can you have a look?
I've got some pretty good horror stories about lunchtime.
Yeah.
I worked as a nurse, so you know, I've learned really quick not to eat your lunch on the unit in my office. You know, you get the hell out of there. You hide.
You get out of there, or you're gonna. Yeah.
You know, there's gonna be
Food
a
in one
diarrhea
hand and-
explosion next to you, and it's like, well, great. Now I'm not hungry. So,
No.
and that's happened. Like, there was a dude who liked to shit in the elevators.
Oh,
Which
thank you.
Yeah, that was,
God, no. Ugh.
or you get someone coming in with like I was telling Boots some of the horror stories I had, but one of them was from a clinical. A guy came in with I was in the emergency room. He came in with a snow globe stuck in him. I won't tell you where, but you can guess.
Yeah, the one place you shouldn't put a snow globe is the one place he tried to put a snow globe.
Yeah, and it was one of those. It was one of those ones that like, it has the wind up music player, and it plays "You Are My Sunshine."
Nice.
Yeah, we have a funny word for this place in German. It's called Knastbrieftasche, and it's kind of translates to prison wallet or something, a jail wallet.
Prison wallet.
Yeah.
It's Nature's pocket.
It's funny that you should say something about the word prison. My sister is she's a head nurse at one of the state prisons here in good old Illinois. Blasto, you've probably heard of the Dixon Correctional Facility.
Yeah,
it's closer to you than it is to me, I believe.
Yeah.
My sister is a nurse there. She's told me some horror stories about some of the inmates. Like the one guy who thought that he could escape by getting on the top bunk and swan diving into the toilet. He thought he could go through the drain to get out. And I thought she was kidding, but a buddy of ours is also a prison guard at the same prison, and he confirmed that the story was accurate. She also told me about a gentleman who was pushing for an insanity plea, so much so that he would find a sharp utensil and use it to try and remove pieces of his small intestine. So he was pretty successful, because every time he would do that, he would damage so much of the small intestine they would have to remove it. So he would end up with smaller and smaller intestine.
Sounds like he should have gotten that insanity claim.
Yeah, I'm not. No matter how crazy I think I am, or the people around me are, none of us have tried to remove our own small intestine. So I think we can. I think he safely qualifies for at least not mentally stable.
There's a lot of crazy shit out there.
Yeah. It's. It's amazing the things people put in places they shouldn't, and the stupid things they do to try and get out of things that they should just do to begin with.
Yeah.
Reminder for anyone that's still watching. The stream is open for anyone else to join. I'll probably stay on for a little bit longer. Every week we're doing this once or twice, and it's always open for anyone that wants to jump in. We're all just hanging out. There's no real schedule or planning involved here.
Considering since I've been here, we talked about all kinds of things and have gotten way down that rabbit hole into like medical.
Don't say rabbit hole.
Yeah.
When you get to the wrong part of YouTube, in the wrong part of YouTube, you're in the wrong part.
Demonetized.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I apologize.
I'd like to get monetized so I could be demonetized.
I could monetize, but I don't. I don't care.
I mean, like the chance on YouTube to get demonetized is quite high. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of guys on YouTube, like Hack5 or how was the name of this Malduino guy?
Enough.
What?
Yeah, that's all right.
Brain doesn't work anymore. It's like almost 1 a.m.
Pulling an all-nighter again.
He never sleeps.
I'm having my caffeine. I think Zach will know this drink. It's Spitzy, I don't know.
Yeah, the only monetization we do for the cafe is the Amazon affiliate links, which actually works out great. It pays for the hosting costs and a little extra, which we use for the giveaways like VertCon. We gave away a 3D printer. The next conference we do, maybe we'll give away 2 3D printers or none. Depends if you guys stop using the affiliate links.
I'll use it from now on.
We have to get Loyal Moses. We have to get Loyal Moses in on our team.
Yeah.
Throw some proofs of love around.
We should get him on the stream. I've never actually seen him join any of the streams. I mean, he's in the chat, but
pretty sure he owns Caleb technically.
No, see, he tried to bid for Caleb, but I actually outbid him, and that's how we got him for VertCon.
Oh, okay.
I offered to not sell him to the next person,
Yeah. So I'm starting to collect parts for my next project. I'm going to kind of go back to my roots of Game Boy modding. And I just got this case. I don't know if you can really see it. It's like a matte finish soft touch. And it costs $20.
It's a Game Boy Pocket, right?
No, color. It's a color.
Okay.
It's from Extreme Rate. They had a lot of really cool finishes like on Amazon. They have like a color shift purple, blue, and wood grain and all that stuff. But I really like this matte white, so I'm going to do an all white build. I'm going to put a backlit IPS display in here. And I'm also going to put in I forget which does. It's some kind of an amplifier. I forget what the marketing name was for it, but it's going to have a whole 1 watt of power. So that's pretty good for a Game Boy. So.
Yeah. Are there special buttons? Always when I see such things, I have to think of the artisan keycap guys, which sometimes also cast buttons for PlayStation or Xbox.
Yeah,
that'd be cool to make some.
Yeah, Boxy Pixel. I don't know if anyone's heard of his stuff.
Yeah,
he does CNC.
The metal stuff.
Yeah, he does CNC.
I'd like to have a metal
stuff.
keypad. That'd be cool.
Absolutely gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, imagine having a full metal Game Boy DMG, which the origin is indestructible, but full metal one.
That's crazy.
He just started shipping. He just started shipping his Game Boy Advance SP unhinged. It's where it takes the internals of an SP, which was the folding clamshell Game Boy, and makes it into a form factor like a regular Game Boy would.
Mhm.
It just looks great. Like he just does some wonderful work. I want to get one of those, but they're always sold out whenever I have the money to do it because they're like $80 a case.
Ooh.
3D print one. That's the
Yeah,
whole
I
point.
can't print metal.
Okay.
Yeah,
You-
kind
you-
of.
you-
Well,
You can 3D print metal. You just
then
it
cast it
just
with metal afterwards.
Yeah.
I watched a few videos on how to cast metal because I'd love to do that. And you have a few tools like I don't know.
There's
you
this
definitely have more tools.
there's a spray paint I have that is a metal flake in a clear suspension. You spray it on anything, and it looks like aluminum. Looks like cast aluminum, and it's perfect. Like it works on pretty much anything. It looks like metal. It feels like metal. It feels cold when you touch it because it really is metal flakes that spray out and stick down. And then I usually clear coat it in a super matte finish, and all my prints look like metal. Sure, it's not really metal, but no one else would know.
Yeah, by weight maybe. So just add some lead.
You put
I
some
guess.
lead. Yep, you just get some lead in it.
Yeah.
Dan, I can never tell if your screen's frozen.
Yeah, I know.
You're
That's
very
the
still.
bad. Yeah, it's always the bad part about, like, a lot of you guys know I occasionally have a terrible internet connection, and by occasionally I mean often. and yeah, sometimes I get spaced out. I apologize. I saw something that caught my eye on the screen over here, and I kind of was looking at it, and it was
I
something
do
I
the same thing. I realize I haven't moved in a while, and it's like, I should probably, do something with my hands, like.
Yeah, and I apologize. Like for up until recently, I haven't had screens this large. My wife surprised me with one, and then the next day surprised me with the second one. So I've got two large screens here now. They're 27-inch wide screens.
Nice.
So it's a nice long stretch across my desk with screens here. Well, I'm looking over here now, and the camera's here, and you guys are here, and it's just out of the corner of my eye where I can't see anything, and I'm still listening. So when I'm like this, you're just far enough out that, like, if you move, I still don't notice. So I apologize. I probably should be a little bit more gracious guest and be a little more over on this side. So I apologize.
Oh, it's no problem. I just think it's kind of funny. We do this, like, the live streaming thing's still weird to me. I haven't done very many of them.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where the more you do them, after a while, you just kind of like, eh.
It's like I see myself in the screen here, and I go to like move my hand, and it's like it's the wrong hand moving.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that.
That's why I'm always like, I always have to look at the screen and see. It's like, okay, now point of reference. Which side of me is that on in the room when I'm sitting here? It's like, okay, my laser's over here, and it's like, okay, that outlet is behind me is over here. So it's like you just gotta like. I always remember the point of reference. I'm like, okay, like I know this is over here.
And this background pretty much ruins that for me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to try and remember what color is like over which shoulder. Like, black would be over your left, and then orange is over your right. So
yeah, I see. I actually change the pattern every single time I live stream.
Oh man.
Or
you just mess with yourself then.
Which, if anyone's actually still watching and was watching later, there is a reason for it. So keep track of the pattern on there, and next year's conference, you'll find out why.
I'm sure I could probably figure out why, not what, but why. But I'll just leave that be. But I was gonna say is should probably hide like a little L and a little R on either side. So when you look at the screen, you're like, okay, this is my left, this is my right. Like, I'm probably gonna end up at one point. I'll end up doing that myself. You'll see a little L and an R on the wall behind me. And that's the advantages of being out here in the it's all gray walls, so it's like the cave or the dungeon. It's the advantage of being out here is like if I tag the walls, nobody's.
Yeah, I think I remember a video you did, or maybe it was a live stream. You did like a tour of your new setup.
Yeah. This lovely place here. It's there's the door of the door that's becoming the door of stickers. There's an Ender and a Anycubic i3 Mega. Down there is the cube that I've been building for a year now. There's my other Ender 3 that is currently rocking Andrew Sink's plotter, the little plotter on there. So there's that. And then there's my rack of filament. The lasers behind the UPS or USPS boxes, which, yes, I will use those to ship things, so I am not using their product in the wrong way. And then there's
Actually, I can see the blue light, though. I don't think you have that blocked enough.
Yeah,
you can see the laser back there. You know, these things are actually pretty bad for your eyes.
Oh yeah. You can see the back part of the frame. Usually when I'm doing stuff, it's small tiles, and they're actually farther this way.
Which laser did you get? I just picked one up a couple weeks ago.
That's actually the Alex laser. It's the Alec Maker Alex laser. Was it the A3 Pro or it's A2 or an A3 Pro or something like that? I forget exactly. It was given to me a little while back by another guy in the community there. His name is Sergio, or he goes by HVAC, A to Z. He's a pretty cool guy. He's like, I got this printer coming. It's an all-in-one with the laser and all that stuff. He's like, I got that coming. He goes, I haven't used this thing in a while. It's just been sitting in a box collecting dust. He's like, you want it? I was like, sure. So he sent it on, and I have since been using it, and I've been going crazy doing the tiles and stuff. I mean,
yeah, I've been wanting to make some of those.
Yeah, see, here's the slate tiles. I did one for Maker Viking. I did one for him. I got to figure out the best way to do this, because with him being over in Norway, it's kind of one of those. What's the easiest way to get this small tile to Norway without it costing like $100 US by the time it gets there? You know what I mean? Like
it's pretty rough shipping over there.
USPS has some of those flat rate international boxes.
Send me the file. I'll laser it for him. I have some.
I'll just keep that one for myself. Yeah.
I have some of those tiles because I saw someone on Twitter do microcontrollers. So the writing on the Raspberry Pi, the writing on the Raspberry Pi, for example, on the chip, you burn that on the tile, and then you have coasters which look like big microcontrollers. Yeah.
I think Jim did one of those too on his couple streams ago. I think he showed one off.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was that. Was it that started that thing? Was it Uncle Jesse?
No, it was. Let me.
I picked up the. It's. I think it's pronounced Niji. Branded laser cutter. It's a 7.5 watt on the output, so it really cooks.
Yeah, that's I think 2.5, or I think it's a 2.5 watt output. So it's nothing. It's nothing big. It's nothing crazy. It gets the job done. Sometimes I got to slow it way down, or
that's what's funny. I can't run the thing fast enough to also run it at 100% output. It just kills whatever I'm trying to.
Yeah, I was kind of told when I started playing around in lasers, like at least with the diodes anyway. I haven't gotten into CO2 yet. I'm actually looking at getting a K40. But I was told in diodes, you never want to run it at 100% because it just kills that diode real quick.
Yeah, you figure they're probably over volting it. They're probably pushing it past what it's really made for.
I was told by a couple people a good rule of thumb is about 80% should be your 100%. So run it at 80% and consider that your 100%. So that's my max output is 80%. On rare occasions when I was doing tiles like this one, for instance, which is just a gradient tile, when doing that, which this is sprayed with a clear enamel, just to kind of show people what it would look like with the clear enamel on it, because people want to know things,
Yeah.
But doing that was the only time I think recently that I've actually used a laser at 100%, and that was just for that, and then I was back to doing.
And Zach, you have the K40 type, right?
Yep.
Anyone in particular? I know there's a lot of
there are versions with a digital readout and with an analog readout. As far as I know, the ones with the digital readout are good for nothing because they don't really tell you anything. They tell you can set it from 0 to 100%, but you don't know the exact wattage or so. And if you get the cheaper one, which has the analog readout, there you know, okay, I'm driving this with that much milliamps, and it's 10 kV, so I'm using it with 40 watt or whatever. They are also sold as 40 watt lasers, but they are actually more like 30. So you don't want to run them at the full power. And there are all kinds of issues with this thing. I would not recommend buying one if you don't know what you get yourself into. I have the small one. That is.
This is the one I was actually thinking of getting with my Biden money. But I don't know, it's enormous. Dude, I don't even know where I would put it, but I really want to get it though.
Yeah, I know.
Put it under your bed.
One of my moments I bought
if we had Merkel money.
we kind of have something similar. Not absolutely the thing.
Yeah, it's called Corona bonus.
Yes.
Corona bonus. $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they sold to us as a raise. Anyways. The K40 is good, but there are quality issues. They are dangerous. They operate on 10 kilovolts, and the grounding, there's a screw in there which runs through the case, but they powder coated it first. They made the hole, powder coated it, and then put in the screw. So there's absolutely no grounding on the housing. So if something goes wrong, your housing could be 10 kV, and you would touch that. And you don't want this. So there's
my diode laser runs on 12 volts DC.
Yeah. There are several things about the K40 lasers. There are websites on that where you can read up what you should do first. And if you do that, you're pretty safe, I guess, but I could not recommend anyone.
You can really cut acrylic with a diode laser?
The K40
that's not clear.
Well, I mean the one that the boot has.
Yeah, so it's fine for black acrylic and like dark green, dark red, dark blue.
Yeah.
They just take a little longer to cut. Black acrylic works the best. And clear, you can etch it if you put it on top of a black surface so that the heat can collect. So the laser will shoot through the material, and the heat collects on the black surface beneath it.
Yeah, or you can also spray it with a color, then laser, and then get off the color, and then it's etched too.
Spray it with some dry moly lube, which is what I got this for.
Yeah.
So if you spray the clear acrylic, it can't cut them through it. It's just engraving.
Yeah. It can only engrave it, and it's going to go through the acrylic and engrave the other side. So you actually have to mirror and flip the image.
Oh.
Yeah, it all depends on the wavelength. The blue light, you can see the blue light through the acrylic, so it does not cut it. Yeah, because no power is absorbed in the material. If you have a CO2 laser, the wavelength is different, and if you could see the is it infrared or UV?
Infrared.
Infrared, yeah.
Which would pass right through the black acrylic.
Yeah. It passes through the black acrylic?
Infrared is black acrylic's invisible to it. It goes straight through.
I don't know. I cut black acrylic without a problem, but maybe that's specially made for laser. I don't know. But you can't see the laser light through the acrylic. So you could do safety goggles out of acrylic. You just would have to maybe 10 millimeters, and you see the dot coming nearer, and then
just
move away.
cutting through the lens
Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah, it would work.
Well, speaking of safety glasses, everyone with the diode laser, most of them are using it without a case over it, and they're wearing the safety glasses. Those safety glasses are rated up to 1 watt. They protect your eyes up to 1 watt. Anything past that, they're still going to allow enough light through, and not the purple light you see, but the actual UV that you can't see. Because what you see of that dot is nothing compared to how bright it actually is, like if you were looking at it through a camera sensor. So even though you're not seeing the dot at all through your safety glasses, you're still getting hit with a massive amount of light. And it's awful when you see someone sitting there next to their 5 watt, 7 watt diode laser. The reflection off that is maybe 50% the power, and that's still 2 or 3 watts going into your safety glasses that are rated for 1 watt maximum. Those safety glasses are meant for the low power mode when you're doing like the alignment and adjusting the spot. Those are not okay for when it's running.
Yeah, and some of these lasers even come with the wrong color of glasses.
And they're just garbage anyway.
Yeah. When I got my first diode laser, I used the glasses for a short time and then thought, no, I'm going to get proper glasses. And they cost around as much as the laser itself with the things around.
Yeah, my laser glasses were like $60 and the laser was only $400. So it's a good chunk of the price.
Yeah.
I always take them too, and I put them, line it up so that I can fire the laser in the corner of the lens and see how well it actually resists.
And
the trick is there, you actually want it to burn a hole in the lens. If it doesn't burn a hole in it, then that means the light is passing through it.
Yeah.
You want it to put a mark in it. Just do a very quick flash on it.
Yeah. And what you could also do, what I did back then sometimes, was use FPV goggles for drone flying and put the camera on top so you only see through the screen. That works for you, but not for the one entering the room. So again.
Put it in a case. Mine's going in a wooden box.
Yeah.
I figured I wouldn't use anything that it could actually cut through relatively quickly. Just in case it does actually reflect back or some crazy thing happens.
And by the way, I have some the keycaps on my keyboard I'm currently sitting on. The writing on there. I once did a video on this. These are I added some printer toner from a laser printer.
I've seen your video.
And then shot it with a laser, this diode laser, and it melted it so much that it fused with the keycap, and I could drop off the rest of the.
Yeah, actually, thanks to your video, I've got a toner cartridge sitting in the other room waiting to do that.
Yeah,
that's really cool because
got some tan caps here without writing.
It seems impossible to find a good set of caps for like an ortho linear keyboard. So that would be, they're always blank. Ones that look halfway decent.
That was my problem when I built my keyboard.
Right. So the toner ink is actually a plastic, and it's normally applied to the paper with with heat. So you're just doing the same thing in a small scale.
Yeah.
Did you have to crank the settings down really low and?
Yeah, relatively. Yep. Do some tests. Get enough of the. For this keyboard I ordered lots of cheap PBT keycaps from AliExpress, and did some tries. And the power should be relatively low. You want to fuse it, but not to evaporate it. And there's a margin which works. It's also a bit a question of the consistency of the layer of toner you get on it. If you get too much on it, it will burn. It will melt the toner, but it would not stick to the keycap. If it's too little, yeah.
Yep, I've got bags of these right here.
Yeah.
Exactly for that.
Yeah. What you can also do is what I did for another keyboard was you can etch you can etch the keycaps and then rub paint into the.
Does it raise the surface at all where it's etched? Like,
No.
does it bump up as it melts?
It depends. The etching I did with my K40, so it got deeper where I hit it with a laser.
Mm.
And in that indentation, I put the paint and dropped off the rest. And
how did you wash off the toner when you were done? I mean, obviously you have a big mess of toner on everything.
It's not too bad. I
soap and water.
had a little pot where I had the toner in. Then I dipped them in, lasered them, and then I took a damp paper towel and rubbed it off.
Your caps look almost perfectly white, so
it was a bit blown out, but yeah.
I would think the toner would stain them. That's good.
Yeah, it did not stain. I also have a thing on Geekhack on this, where you can see how it holds up over time. So this is the keyboard in front of me is my daily driver for the last. When did I do this video? 2 years ago, and it's seen somewhere, but
they're all still visible.
Most of them, yeah.
I mean, you can always just make new ones if they wear out.
Yeah, I could, yeah. And this was the testing phase, so there was no consistency.
Dan, if you're paying attention, when you make the keyboard for your wife, you can laser on the legend onto the keycaps. So you can make her special buttons, put images on it. You could draw pictures on it, pretty much do anything using that diode laser you got behind you.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing too, because keycaps are stupidly expensive. You buy a set that's got a nice print and a nice color, and it's like $150 for keycaps. Whereas you can get these blank ones for like 10 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know how those people sleep at night charging that much money for little plastic.
Probably sleep on a really comfortable bed in a big house.
Yeah, probably.
I was going to say on a stack of $100 bills, that's how they sleep at night.
Yeah.
But I mean, it depends. If you look at the mechanical keyboard subreddit and all the expensive key sets, they are so low runs, so the tooling is expensive, and but the aftermarket prices are even more crazy. So so I started to experiment with injection molding my own keycaps.
Hexagonal.
Yeah,
injection molding at home. That is very cool. There's a Kickstarter going right now for a home injection molder setup.
I've seen that.
It looks interesting. I don't think I would buy one, but I might make one.
Yeah, I mean, fully automated is definitely not the easiest.
What kind of plastic did you use for that?
This were failed PLA prints. Carbon fiber PLA was this one. I have.
Wasn't somebody on our stream just a couple days ago that did a CNC mold for an injection mold for something? Or am I imagining that?
Yes. I don't remember who it was.
This was
I think it was in the chat though, in the Discord.
Yeah. This is Pat G from Prusa. Yeah, and PLA works better, but
hold that one up again. It looks like the tiles behind me.
Yeah, let's see.
Nice. I'm going to have to get some of those keycaps so I can make a matching keyboard for my wall, Yeah. Then I can post it on MK and be cool like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine like a Lego miniature of Booth.
Yeah. No,
You
mine.
just put the keycaps on a wall, and then you just take a minifigure, and that's it. It's set up.
I don't want you all having a minifigure of me.
I have Batman on a pink bicycle, though.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I hate to be the guy to kind of like pop in last and then take off first, but sadly, I get to play the social butterfly and be everywhere tonight so that I can kind of hang out in many different places.
Is Jerry's stream still going?
Yeah, Jerry still got his stream going, and then after Jerry's stream, like I said, Llama's going to have a stream going tonight where he's giving away a couple of gift cards. So
it's like a day of streams.
I definitely got to
talk to you guys for like 2 hours in your stream. You've been in here for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I told my wife, I was like, today is social media day, so I got to go back to being social. And she's like, what? I'm like, I got to go. And she's like, why? I'm like, social media day. And I walked away. I'm just like, I got to go on social media day, and walked out. And then she comes out here and sits down, and she saw, like I said, she saw what you guys had going on. So now she's definitely going to let me at least play with Cyberdex now. So that's nice. I can get in, I can get involved. And as long as in the end she winds up with a number pad, I win.
We got
put a rotary encoder on that number pad too. That'll seal the deal.
Yeah. Mess with her head, put a rotary encoder. What's that? Yeah. What's this?
Oh, the rabbit hole.
You want it to
just
be.
go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everything's better with a rotary encoder.
You get to add a knob to your keyboard, so you can then select like different layers, different functions, maybe just for turning up the volume.
Oh yeah.
Everything's better with 2 rotary encoder.
Yeah, there you go.
These were casted, by the way.
Cool.
With resin.
Nice. All right. Well, gentlemen, it was fun. I'll definitely have to remember to come and hang out more often, and start digging my way in, and as I'm quite certain I'll be blowing up the Discord with a bunch of like stupid newbie questions. So I thank you guys in advance for the advice now, especially since you'd be like, just read, it's in here, and I know that's what you'll say. So you may not type it, but you'll definitely in the back of your head you'll be like, he just needs to read.
No, we don't do any of that in our group. All questions are welcome. All skill levels.
That's I think the maker mentality, and that's what I love. That kind of carries across a lot.
Anything you see happen in Reddit, we do the opposite.
Yeah, and that's like I said, that's kind of why I like this area, this group. That it seems like the group of individuals or the groups of individuals that I get involved with throughout the different things. It seems like they all have the same mentality, the same thought, which is it's better to share your knowledge with people who don't know than turn people off to the community. You know what I mean? Like you guys would rather have more people building Cyberdex and being out there and having it kind of keep growing. And it takes one ignorant person to make one comment to turn off that one person. And that one person could have potentially brought 10 more. So, it's that mentality of like, let's get them in here. Let's get people hooked. Let's get them on. We may have to answer the same question 15, 20 times, but at least we know we're giving them valid information, useful information.
We've kicked out 10,000 people from the group, and we have just over 1,000 in it currently.
Nice.
So we keep it, keep it tight. If you're in there and actually posting and stuff, if you join and just lurking, doing nothing, or if you're just an asshole, you're gone.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm thankful to be in that group and a part of it. So I thank you guys for allowing me in and going forward. Like I said, hopefully you'll start seeing more and more stuff, from me coming in and next time I come in on a stream, maybe I'll have the starting or the making of something, a number pad.
Cool. Well, thanks for being on. We'll catch you later.
Yeah. Gentlemen, have a good rest of your stream. We'll talk to you guys later.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to have to get going too.
How about you guys? Yeah.
Me.
It's getting late. It's probably real late for you.
Yeah.
1:30. Yeah.
Good time to go. We've been on for almost 3.5 hours here. So.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Well, cool. Thanks for joining in. This was fun. We'll definitely have to keep doing these earlier streams. Maybe a couple hours earlier though next time.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I think the time was quite good though, because usually I try to be in bed at 2.
Yeah, later is better for
You
me.
gotta set yourself limits. Gotta have goals, right? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yesterday I was in bed at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
After having too much energy, because in the afternoon I took a nap after work, like 2 hours. Yeah, I just forced myself to sleep at 5. Yeah.
Yeah, my spare time starts at 10 p.m. So yeah.
Before you jump off, plug your YouTube channel again.
Huh?
Your YouTube channel for anyone that's watching.
Make and modify, like on my name here.
Nice, yeah. Everyone should check it out. It's got some cool stuff.
Yeah,
Looking for it right now.
Don't.
Hey, it's great that I
also
found your keycap video. I mean, months ago. I didn't even know that was you until just now.
That is my most watched video. That is also pretty old. Before that was in the time when I was still a student and did not have a kid. Now I have a job and a kid, and then there was 2 years of silence
No
on my
more
YouTube
keyboards.
channel. Yeah, still keyboards, but
less.
I have to decide: do I want to finish this project or do I want to make videos on it? Yeah. If I decide to do videos, it takes longer.
Yeah.
I did some stuff years ago, and my most watched videos literally are no commentary, WarioWare on the Wii U, like Game & Wario, where the action is on the gamepad, but I couldn't record the gamepad. The video has like 2,000 views or something.
The keycap video. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's like my most watched video is a 15-second clip of a cyber deck. It's got like 15,000 hits, and it's like, come watch the other stuff, you know? Where's the subscribers? All right, well, let's end this thing. We could talk all night, but we'll do that again next time.
Yeah.
So thanks for being on. See you guys back at the Discord. Thanks everyone who's still watching. I think there's someone out there.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.